Live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The Fan Sports Day of the Week. Oh, this is some clever branding. Here's your host, place name here.
Good to go here, Nate? I'm live and talking to the city of Columbus right now.
Here, yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Thanks, Browns.
Oh, boy. Browns lose even in the offseason. I'm Tito Jeff Thidoff here, Fan Sports Saturday. Eric Rieser will join me here shortly. Here a little bit earlier than I expected, but that's okay. Lots to talk about today. We've got the NCAA basketball tournament, Elite Eight. The Final Four will be decided by the time you go to bed on Sunday. Could have as many as 4 Big Ten teams in there because depending on what happens today, Purdue, Arizona is going to be a tough task, though. That's going to be a tough one there. I don't have a lot of faith in Purdue winning that game, but they've looked good so far. And anyway, but it's been good basketball to watch. It's been a lot of fun. We got a big show lined up for you today, by the way. We are going to have Tyler Danburg joining us, but there's lots of talk to go with the what's going on right now in college basketball. The Ohio State's been busy this past week. We had the pro day, and we'll hear from Ryan Day. We'll hear from Matt Patricia. We'll hear from Arthur Smith, all of that. We'll get into all of that later on as the show goes on. But I wanted to talk briefly about LSU and their hiring of Will Wade as rehiring of Will Wade as head coach. And if you look at what LSU has done, Will Wade, I don't know if you know the whole story behind it or not, but Will Wade was the head coach at LSU back for a few years, 2000. I think he ended up in 2022 was his last season there. But he got fired by LSU. He was successful there, but he got fired from LSU because he was caught on an FBI wiretap, among other things, and offering what he called making a strong ass offer to a player. This is back before you could pay players. Got caught on that one. Ended up getting dinged by the NCAA. LSU got dinged by the NCAA. Wade did personally. And he ends up getting fired by Louisiana State. Ends up going to McNeese State, has a couple of good years there. NC State hires him then. Kind of throws him another bone there to be a coach in Division I basketball again for a major school at Power Conference at NC State. NC State this year, he was decent. I mean, they had a good year. They ended up making it to the NCAA tournament. They lost in the first 4. After the ACC tournament, NC State got bounced. When they got knocked out of the tournament, I think it was Virginia that beat them. Will Wade was asked in a press conference post-game about the LSU job. Now, the LSU job was widely rumored to be open, but it was not officially open at that point. This is what he said at the ACC tournament. He said, is the job open there? No. Listen, let me be very clear. I'm excited at NC State. I was hired at NC State to do a job. This wasn't going to take 1 year. I've already met with our administration about next year and some of the changes we need to make and some of the things we need to do to put this program where it deserves to long term. So after the season, he meets with some NC State administrators. Like you said, he talked to some of them about what he needs for next year. And things were looking up for the North Carolina State basketball program. Athletic Director Boo Corrigan. Yes, Boo. That's his first name. NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan says he felt, I'm paraphrasing here, lied to after Wade resigned to take the job at LSU. And he said when he's asked about what he'd say to the fans, he said, I'd let them know that I'm as surprised as they are by what's gone on. As far as resignation letter, it was an email that we received from his agent. I'm disappointed how it went down. I really am. So Wade did not even reach out to Corrigan personally. His agent sent an email resigning from his job. He had signed a decent contract with them before all this. And LSU now has to pay NC State $4 million as a buyout. It was supposed to be $5 million. There was if it happened on a certain date, it would be $5 million. If it happened at a later date, it's $3 million. They negotiated down to $4 million. So that's what LSU is paying NC State $4 million for that. How about the other coach LSU had, Matt McMahon? McMahon's going to get more than $8 million. He had agreed to a 7-year deal when he was hired in 2022. And McMahon, the reason he got a 7-year deal, which is a longer deal than you would have expected there, was because he had to clean up the mess at LSU left behind by Will Wade. So, McMahon has 3 years remaining on the 7-year deal. LSU's got to pay him more than $8 million. Remember, LSU owes Brian Kelly $54 million. In the past 4 months, LSU's been more than $60 million in dead money on the books. Good morning, Rieser.
Tito, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm here.
You're here?
Have you heard from anybody in management?
No.
Okay.
LSU, you remember they hired Lane Kiffin, who also has a bit of a past of not being totally forthcoming.
In the past 6 months, Tito, they've committed more than $200 million to this.
That's insane.
This circus.
Right.
And I don't think they've gotten any extra wins off of it because obviously Lane Kiffin hasn't coached a game.
Right.
But LSU basketball-wise was bad this year, and that was large in part to Will Wade being caught on FBI wiretap, bitching about stuff that's legal now,
right,
but that was horribly illegal back then.
So when Wade was there from 17 to 22, the Tigers went to the NCAA tournament 3 times. They won their first SEC regular season title in more than a decade in 2019. It was 105-51 over LSU. But
they had Ben Simmons on one of those teams.
I don't know if that's a plus or minus.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, no, I remember that guy. That guy was going to be great. But the thing, when I look at it, though, Rieser, is that, Kiffin lied to Tennessee fans. When he was there, he named his kid Knox. I'm going to be here long term, all this stuff, and then escapes at night to go to USC. So you hire a guy named Kiffin who's lied before to the fans, who's really, in my opinion, not all that trustworthy.
Yeah, but he does yoga, and he's really turned things around. And, he's a sympathetic figure. USC left him on the tarmac.
That's right. That's right. Somebody became a sympathetic figure in this whole thing. And now you hire Wade, who sat there just at the ACC tournament and said, this is where I want to be long term. This isn't a one-year thing for me.
Well, it's where he wanted to be until LSU came to him with a strong-ass offer.
Right.
And so they're going to give him $4 million this year. And I think the escalators in his contract go up at least $100,000 until he's making $5.5 million. So if take everything else out of it, I know it's difficult to do because Will Wade's kind of a sleazy character. He's a sleazy character.
Yes, he is.
If somebody comes to you and says, we're going to double your salary, you're probably hopping in the next rental car.
You probably are. That's fair. That is fair. But I don't know. I shouldn't be surprised LSU doesn't care about.
Not absolutely. I mean, they've got the unholy triumvirate in terms of the big 3 revenue generators in college athletics. Yeah. Lane Kiffin, Will Wade, and Kim Mulkey.
How did LSU end up a scummier athletics department than Michigan? That's a really good accomplishment.
With credit to the Michigan man, it's been cleaned up. LSU's just leaned into it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a wrestling character where LSU's just leaned deeper into the heel turn and they're just more of a heel, where I do think Michigan's, and I want to just say the board, because Ward Manuel's still their athletic director, and he should bear some responsibility for all of this.
Yes.
I do think the actual powers that be at Michigan realize we cannot keep doing this.
Yeah.
And so I do. And Sharon obviously made it easy for them.
Right, yeah.
But, and then I think
biggest favor he did for them.
That's actually a lot to it. Now that I think more about it, is you were helped out because your coach was dealing with a lot. And a lot of his own doing.
Right, I say, that's not, he was dealing with a lot, but yes, it was mostly.
I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to bury Sharon anymore. He's done enough of that himself.
Yeah,
I think you can just do a quick Google search for some of the sadder video you'll see on the internet this week, and that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 different situations where LSU's like, hey, this is, and they don't have any, there's, when you want to try something, whatever it is you want to try, and you get success off of it, then you want to keep doing that thing that's gotten you success. What LSU's doing hasn't gotten them any success anywhere. Outside of Kim Mulkey's been really successful. But football-wise, they haven't done anything. I mean, not since Ed Orgeron and Joe Burrow.
Right.
And basketball-wise, not since Will Wade. So maybe this is them thinking, well, we had success with him. Lane's the hottest name in coaching. This will at least satiate our booster base. I mean, because the governor's in on the whole thing as well. And there's no other state that does that.
Right, yes. That's insane. And it's LSU, though, they have shown, yes, winning is all that matters.
Yeah, can you win games? Yeah. Can you win? And can you keep us in the headlines?
Yeah.
Should we be doing the break thing?
I don't know. Should we do a break thing?
No, take it right to the top of the hour.
Top of the hour?
Yeah.
We can do that.
I don't. Yeah,
here's the thing.
Technically, the top of the hour commercials have already played. We just got to hit the legal at the top.
As long as we don't owe anybody make goods commercial-wise, I think I'm okie-dokie with it.
I'm okay.
We have a great show planned for you today. This has been great. I don't know who's necessarily hearing this. So hello out there to all of you.
I got a couple of phone calls. People say, "Hey, what's going on at the fan?"
You got phone calls?
Yeah, I got not from management. No, from friends.
Nate, did you get any phone calls?
No, of course not.
So you tell me Buckeye Frank
just
called me
walked out of the other studio and went, "Oh."
So before management calls, I got a call from Buckeye Frank, my buddy, telling me, "Hey, what's going on over there? I see a dark room and nobody."
Oh, the room was on YouTube?
Oh, he said something like he said it's all like he said it's all the dark room with like
Yeah, they were one on YouTube.
Oh, now I'm going back. Oh, yeah, that's totally dark.
Yeah.
Hello to everybody on YouTube. No, Peter, we don't get any extra pay for this.
Look.
And here's the defense of us not being in here when the connection between Browns programming and our local programming had its hiccup. You're asking a lot of the fans when you're doing a 7:00 start for Elite Eight games last night.
Yeah.
And then for me, as a Guardians fan, I'm up till the 5th inning. I'm trying to remember when DeLauder hit his 3rd home run of that Mariners-Guardians game. 9:40 is a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
But, like, that really dictates how early I get in here.
Yeah.
As I'm up midnight trying to do Elite. And Elite Eight was... The games in the second weekend have been awesome so far. So this sets up for a really good Saturday and an awesome Sunday in terms of college hoops. But it's a lot. I'm old.
Oh, shut up. Don't you ever tell me you're old again. You can say You can say that stuff when you're around Tyvis or somebody like that.
Second energy drink I popped today.
Good for you. But don't you dare say that around me. Older. Okay.
How late were you up taking in the Elite Eight?
I ended up falling asleep around 10:30.
Yeah. That was how I was Thursday. Where thankfully, the latter games in the night weren't the better of the two.
Yeah.
Michigan State and UConn kept me up because I think they tied it up around 44 in the second half because it started real ugly for Tom Izzo and company, almost to the point of where I was kind of enjoying watching Michigan State get their asses kicked. Because if you're rooting against the mitten in the Sweet 16, you got no satisfaction from Michigan and Alabama.
Right, yeah.
I had said this last week where I thought that Michigan would have an easy path to the Final Four, and so far so good. I think Arizona or Michigan, probably one of those teams is winning the whole thing.
Arizona, yeah, I would think it's probably one of those two. I mean, look, Duke, I know Duke struggled last night, but the fact they're getting their guys back is a big deal.
I think so. I think that you really saw like them having that kind of energy in the right moments. It's hilarious still to see St. John's and Rick Pitino. They're never going to be able to out-talent Duke. They've got to be able to out-coach Duke.
Right.
And I was sitting there thinking last night, like, wow, Pitino's getting out-coached by John Shire.
Did you see him complaining after the game?
Well, I can kind of actually sympathize with it.
I can.
It's a heartbreaking loss.
Right.
The way things kind of went out for them in the trickling moments. And you're just kind of forced to wait.
Yeah.
Because they were in D.C.
Yeah, D.C.
So it's not a terribly long trek back to Brooklyn.
Right.
For them, they could probably just, all right, is our stuff cleaned up? All right, let's go.
Yeah.
But the NCAA is telling them, we got to wait a half an hour so we can get you guys up at the podium and ask you questions that, one, they could probably all written out, and two, they had no desire to answer. So I understand they're pissed.
Right message, wrong time to deliver it, though. Like I would do right after the game. I'd say maybe later on. Yeah. Maybe wait a few days or a couple days and say, look, this is my one beef with because I'm sure I'll have another press conference here soon. You know, like a postseason wrap. There'll be something going on where he will talk to the media again. Yeah, and that would be the time to address. If you want to do it publicly, that'd be the time to do it.
They'll do that postmortem probably sometime this week. It was interesting. I saw a friend of the program, Adam Jardy, had an interview with Jake Diebler. Mm-hmm. And in that interview, you know, after they lose to TCU, I would be surprised if Diebler spent a ton of time watching the tournament.
Right.
Just because I'm sure like all of his basketball energy is just gone to how do I figure out this roster for next season.
Right.
And so I wonder for Pitino if that's the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because as you have, you know, the turnaround so quick, because I think April 7th's the transfer portal. And so you got to make sure guys that you've got locked in will stay locked in and then figure out what your portal needs are going to be. All right, we're going to dip out for a sec and then come back and do the regularly scheduled Saturday Spectacular on the Fan.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Nate Puterbaugh, their sports update. The Final Four will feature at least one team from the Big Ten. The Elite Eight is all set. Illinois and Iowa are set to square off the night at 6 o'clock with Arizona and Purdue in the late game. Tomorrow sees Michigan face off with Tennessee and Duke and UConn wrapping up the weekend. The CBJ look to get back on track after dropping 2 out of 3 on the road. They've got back-to-back games out at Nationwide this weekend. They square off with the Sharks at 5. Catch extended pregame coverage here on the Fan starting at 4. The Cincinnati Reds will continue their series with the Red Sox today. First pitch comes your way at 4:10 with Brady Singer squaring off with Sonny Gray. We'll have all the action over on the Fan too. And the Guardians look to bounce back from a 5-1 loss to the Mariners last night out in Seattle. Joey Cantillo takes a mound against Brian Wu. First pitch is tonight at 9:40. And the Cleveland Cavaliers knocked out the Miami Heat last night 149-128. They return to the court Monday night taking on the Jazz. Breaking sports news weapons in the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
The Fan is live and local with Fan Sports Saturday. The Fan Sports Day of the Week. Oh, this is some clever branding. Here's your host, place name here.
Hey, Rieser.
Happy Saturday.
The show definitely now just starting.
Rieser, Tito, Nate. Yeah, we have the secret 10-minute show available on YouTube, along with a dimly lit studio.
Yes.
Hope
We should have kept the
everybody's
lights on.
doing well.
When I came on live, I should have had the lights down still. That would be kind of cool.
If we just turned all the lights off,
Yeah,
like
turn it
even
all
Nate's studio.
Yeah. Just start the show that way.
I saw this just as I'm trying to pull everything up, but Illinois, the state, is curbing alcohol sales with the Final Four at stake. So alcohol sales will be limited Saturday night on the University of Illinois campus in anticipation of potential property damage and excessive celebrations if Illinois beats Iowa in the Elite Eight to advance to the Final Four. This is from city officials in Champaign yesterday. Emergency order will include a requirement for all bars on campus to sell alcohol in paper and plastic cups, a ban on all sales of packaged liquor beginning 1 hour after tip-off, a rule that no liquor establishment on campus can sell more than a single keg to an individual customer. The order will also include a ban on delivery drivers bringing alcohol to or from campus beginning 1 hour after tip-off.
I think it's a lie.
What do you mean?
I think it's a very smart marketing ploy by them.
You think it's in place to boost alcohol sales?
Yes, I think it's a place to actually to get people to think, oh, this is going to be
How do you
scarce.
enforce that?
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
the biggest question,
So
right?
that's what I think. I think it's a total farce. Like they're saying, look, hey guys, there's not much alcohol today. I want everyone to know that, and everyone's going to get out there early and buy the heck out of alcohol to get ready.
The thing with the corn matchup in the Elite Eight, Illinois and Iowa, is they're an hour behind, so it's scheduled to tip at 6 o'clock Eastern. 5 o'clock would be Central, if I've got that correct. So about 6 o'clock is when they're starting to curb alcohol sales on a Saturday night. Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, it's not going to. They're going to sell more alcohol today than they would have. Because right now, if you told me, hey, the Buckeyes before their championship game, national championship, before the game against Michigan, let's say that, if we're going to curb alcohol sales, you can bet I go out and buy double.
Yeah, I mean it's
The 6-pack the cooler would be full by like noon. Yeah.
I wonder because this schedule was set on Thursday, like so you knew Illinois and Iowa was going to go 6:09 from Houston,
Right.
And so I wonder if students are already have their fridges stocked, and then because of this executive order Friday, they go out and just double up on it.
Yeah.
Because you just buy warm cases, and then you're switching out.
Right.
As soon as cold beer comes out of the fridge, warm beer goes into the fridge.
Yeah.
Because college students, I know, are really good for. All college students are good for one thing, and that's prioritizing consumption.
There we go.
So this feels kind of like it's weird that they would come out with that. And again, if it was the 8:49 tip, that would make a little bit more sense from a community safety standpoint. But you're at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock Eastern, or 5 o'clock Central. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck to Illinois, because, as you heard Nate in the update, at least one Big Ten team's making the Final Four, and it could be two as soon as this time tomorrow. You got Iowa, Illinois, and then Purdue, Arizona. And I had gone into the tournament, Tito, just saying to myself, don't trust Matt Painter. And I'm not sure if he's erased that yet. Right, because and I do think a lot of college basketball fans kind of feel the same way. Like, I can't trust Matt Painter. He was a one that lost to a 16. He's never been able to, win the national championship. He's had a ton of bites at the apple.
Right.
Could this be the team? Could this be the year? And then I see Arizona. I go, no. Not that Arizona team.
That team's damn good. Arizona's really good. Breaking news on that one. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to state the obvious there, but they are.
It's for a lot of people who, I mean, how much Arizona basketball did you watch this season in the regular season?
Not a lot.
Like I tuned in against in the Utah State game and realized, oh, this team's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched them throttle Arkansas and said, okay, I could see where North Carolina's like, yeah, we want Tommy Lloyd and his style of basketball at Chapel Hill. That'll work. Though he didn't say no.
He didn't say no, but he's not gonna say yes right now.
You can say no. You can lie. In that situation, when you're being asked that before a regional semifinal game, if you're Tommy Lloyd, you can absolutely lie in that situation. Like, no, I have no interest. Because right now, it's like the Browns. And we'll get into the Browns later on in the program.
Oh, good.
What your truth is on Thursday can be completely different than next Thursday. What the Browns' truth was yesterday will be completely different come, November 3rd, which is the trade deadline in the National Football League.
Fair.
Your truth can change.
I know my truth.
I know we talked about like Will Wade and Kim Mulkey and Lane Kiffin, and it very much feels like a phrase they would use.
Mm-hmm.
The truth can change. But
I wonder, though, if part of what Lloyd's thought is that he doesn't want to be perceived that way. You know, because we know Will Wade, like we mentioned Will Wade and Lane Kiffin, they have no problem lying. No problem lying to people.
No.
And I wonder if that is something where Tommy Lloyd's like, you know what, I'm not that guy. You know, so I'm just going to play the game. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. I'm just going to say, you know what? I don't want. This is not the time to talk about it.
I forgot to bring this up when we were doing our secret show.
Yeah.
But Will Wade yesterday, in an SUV heading to LSU facilities, they're going to kill me if I start answering questions. I'm trying to follow more rules this time because the cameras caught him driving away and wanted to kind of like put themselves in a position where they kind of had to slow down and answer questions, like because you want to hear from him. That's going to be a fascinating press conference when they introduce Will Wade for the first time at LSU, or for the second time, first time in a while. You to ask him questions about how that saga kind of unfolded because his agent sent an email to NC State for his resignation. So there are different ways to do that, and I love Tommy Lloyd as a head coach. I think his brand of basketball would fly anywhere, and I think when Arizona beats Purdue tonight, they will probably win the national championship because I think they beat Michigan, which is how that national semifinal would look out. Because you've got Illinois, Iowa on one, Duke, UConn on the other. I don't have any of my things pulled up.
I'm looking at it right now. Hang on, I'll tell you right now. I can figure it out for you.
Michigan, Tennessee, winner gets Arizona, Purdue.
Right.
On the other side, in the East and the South, Duke, UConn, winner gets Iowa, Illinois.
Right. Reese, I'm not convinced that North Carolina is as prestigious as it once was. And what I mean by that, yes, the history of North Carolina, sure, that's still there. But back when you, quote unquote, could not pay players, you could sell players on the North Carolina brand. On the fact that, look, we're North Carolina.
You almost didn't have to.
Well, Dean Smith, though, like we put players in the NBA.
Yeah.
We do those things, right? And so if you were torn between two schools, one was North Carolina, one was not North Carolina, and neither one's paying you, North Carolina can win those recruiting battles. Anymore, though, it's more about the money than anything else, I have to believe. You can't tell somebody, hey, take a lot less money to come here because you get to wear Carolina blue because Michael Jordan went here. You can't do that anymore. And North Carolina that doesn't put players in the NBA like they used to, at least star players.
I mean, yeah, you think who goes in the first round of NBA drafts now. And there's some college kids.
Right. I mean, Caleb Wilson will.
Yeah.
But
it's not the university.
No.
Like you're going to see Darren Peterson go, but you'll be thought of in a little way about Kansas.
Right. But
Darius Acuff. But you're not going to think
Bansa
Arkansas.
From BYU.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean as much anymore. So I like the people think, oh, look, this is the best job in college basketball. I'm not convinced it is anymore.
It's definitely not the best job. I'm trying to I think Arizona is probably a better job.
That's what I think too. I think Arizona's a better spot right now.
Trying to see if
it's a tougher conference for one thing.
Tougher conference.
You no longer have two Hall of Fame coaches on the bench. Like over the time that they've been at UNC.
Rick Pitino sound from earlier this week talking about the theme going into the week was the death of Cinderella, right? Because when you get into the second weekend where we are now, only one double-digit seeded advance. But Texas is not a Cinderella. To a lot of the points you made about Arizona, a lot of the points that were made about North Carolina, like Texas is putting a lot of money into that roster.
Yeah.
Rick Pitino was asked about the death of Cinderella, and he took it one step further when addressing Blue Bloods.
I'm not concerned about it. I think you will see it again. But I do feel what's even better than that is the fact that the Blue Bloods no longer control basketball any longer. There's no difference between Kentucky, North Carolina than Illinois or St. John's. There's no difference anymore. There's no difference between Michigan State, who's a blue blood, to any of the other teams from the conferences, from Mississippi when they get it going.
Now, I don't know why you'd vote Mississippi there.
Right.
But the overall point stands.
Sure.
I do think for, those schools like St. John's, those schools like UConn, they don't have football to have to deal with, to have to wrangle with. But to Michigan State, to Michigan, Michigan State's got a ton of billionaire not a ton, but several billionaire boosters, and the Rocket Mortgage guy and the guy that owns the Phoenix Suns. Michigan's got Oracle, or the spouse of the Oracle guy. LSU's got Raising Cane's money. Mm-hmm. And so they'll always be competitive from that standpoint. But for St. John's and for UConn, the money that comes from the revenue share agreements can just be funneled into really one program. And so, yeah, this is something I think that'll fluctuate every year on who's at the top because, how long Rick Pitino's going to be at St. John's. I mean, I think he's got to be 77.
He's 73 years old.
73, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I think he's 73.
It's the same he did a decade ago, actually.
Well, that's why he's a vampire.
Yeah, whatever wins in college basketball.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Right? We got the Blue Jackets look to take 2 games this weekend, back-to-back at Nationwide Arena. Dylan Tyrer from the Blue Jackets Radio Network is going to join us at 9:30. We got Tyler Danburg from the Ohio State Sports Network. He'll join us at 10:30. A busy week for the football Buckeyes. It'll be a busy couple of weeks, even without games for the basketball Buckeyes, so we'll get his thoughts on everything that happened over at the campus, on the campus of The Ohio State University. We're rolling for the next 3. Tito, Rieser, Nate, Sports Saturday on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
Start your painting project and save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's premier interior paint is a paint and primer in one that provides excellent all-around performance and a durable finish that's easy to clean. Visit us in-store or on Menards.com to save big on all Pittsburgh paints and get your project started today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coghlan Chevrolet. Lease a new 26 Chevy Trax, $169 a month. New 26 Equinox, lease for $229 a month. Or lease a new 26 Silverado, $359 a month. Visit CoglanChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Coghlan has the car for you.
39-month leases, Silverado 36-month lease, $39.99 due at signing plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/26.
Common Man and Timmy for our friends at Hollywood Casino.
Oh, it's a big month, Common Man.
Why?
Because there's lots of basketball to watch and lots of cash to win.
That's right. If you're watching hoops, you can reserve your spot at HollywoodColumbus.com. And some of the packages come with $300 in dining credits.
And this month you could win $1 million instantly. Is that your final answer? Plus, there's multiple ways to score big cash prizes weekly.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hey, basketball.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Take your shot to save at Great Lakes Hyundai. Shoot the hoop to get extra savings on your new car purchase. On top of big shot savings like 0% financing on 26 Hyundai Santa Fe's and Tucson's for up to 5 years. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. It's the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Dublin or Columbus or GLakesHyundai.com. With First Credit, some customers may not qualify. First to cruise during no payment period. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's Best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Offer ends 3/31.
Think you know Buckeye football? These two say, hold my beer. The Beat with Austin and Berm.
Sponsored by the Waterworks.
Daily on the Fan's YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
March Madness is here again, and so is a Great Clips $12.99 haircut coupon. From dominating the bracket pool to demolishing game day snacks, Great Clips gets that March is every fan's favorite month. And with a $12.99 haircut coupon, your hair can be as ready for the action as you are. Grab a $12.99 haircut coupon now at greatclips.com/March Madness. Great Clips, official hair salon of March Madness. Valid only at participating U.S. salons. Terms apply. March Madness is a trademark of the National Collegiate Athletic Association.
I'm Roger from Columbus. I've lived in Ohio all my life. Owning your home is a cornerstone of the American dream. But for seniors, property taxes keep going up and are costing us everything we've worked for. They're even making it impossible for my grandkids to afford their first homes. Vivek Ramaswamy believes when you own your home, you're in charge. As governor, he'll roll back property taxes to levels from before the end of the pandemic. It's a practical plan that will put thousands of dollars back in your pocket next year while maintaining strong education and dependable police and fire. Ohio's politicians have ignored this crisis for too long. But Vivek Ramaswamy isn't a politician. He's an entrepreneur, and he's ready to fight for you. Ohio needs a leader who makes your life more affordable. That's Vivek Ramaswamy.
Lower costs, bigger paychecks, better schools. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We have a lot of sunshine around today. Highs are a little cool, though, in the upper 40s. Another chilly night ahead, too, as we head into the overnight. Overnight lows will drop to about 30. Get ready on Sunday, although more clouds around, still some sunshine with warmer temperatures with highs right around 60. I'm meteorologist Melissa Mack with your 10 weather impact forecast.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
So when you have the kind of start to a show that we've had on this particular Saturday Spectacular, you get all over the place. Tito, Nate, Rieser with you until noon today. About 11 minutes, we'll get Dylan Tyrer from the Blue Jackets Radio Network on the line as the CBJ right now in the third spot in the Metropolitan Division, which if you'd ask me, Tito, the best path for the Blue Jackets into the playoffs, I'd be like, well, they get the wild card. Best case scenario.
Yeah.
Well, here they are, a point behind the Pittsburgh Penguins. They tied points-wise with the New York Islanders, but they got a game in hand on the Isles. It won't get any easier. They got 10 games left to go. The Sharks tonight at 5 o'clock and the Boston Bruins tomorrow night at 5 o'clock.
Biggie.
On the weekend Jackets games, the Fan will give you an hour extended coverage. So we'll try to press Tyler on trying to press management for more money for doing more of that work.
What about me today?
No.
I have to produce it. What do I get?
Well, I was 15 minutes early today.
Okay, well, I'm going to press Tyler to do that. You guys can do what you want. I've always said this. If you feel like you should be paid, bill them.
Yeah.
The worst they can say is no. It's like asking a girl out. You've already got the no.
They could do worse.
Well,
I'm just like,
you don't know until you try. So Nate, Tito, if you want to,
I've got a scar that I could show you sometime.
Like a physical scar?
Oh yeah.
Where's it located?
I can't say on
that has a lot to do with if I want to see it or not.
Right. That explains why maybe it's the wrong time to ask about a date.
I don't know how much because of yesterday and really the past couple of days have just been a lot. You heard the news about Tiger Woods, who was arrested under suspicion of DUI. Yesterday afternoon, so this is around 2 o'clock, Woods was arrested after he was involved in a car crash not far from his home on Jupiter Island in Florida. The sheriff's department there said Woods was driving a Land Rover at a high speed. He attempted to pass a truck, swerved to avoid the truck, but clipped the back of its trailer, flipped on its side, slid down the road. You can see the images. They're not great. They harken back to a previous DUI arrest that he had. He, on his breathalyzer, blew fine. I don't think there was any alcohol involved, but because of the surgeries to his back or just the overall surgeries to his body, I think the thought being he might have been on painkillers.
Yeah, because he no problem giving the breathalyzer.
But he was arrested.
Well, they wouldn't give the urine test.
He wouldn't do the urine test. He wouldn't submit to a field sobriety. So he was in custody for about 8 hours yesterday. He is out on bail for that. He had announced earlier in the week that he was going to be returning to competitive golf for the TGL, which is the golf league digitally or virtually that they do on ESPN. It isn't anything near comparable to what you do for a tournament like the Masters that's coming up in 12 days. And that was where a lot of the speculation had come from. Whereas Tiger at the last full week in March says, I'm going to try competitive golf. You think, okay, well, there's now 12 days to go before the first round at Augusta. Is he going to give it a go? And we're in the 6th year. Was it 18 or 19 when he won?
I thought it was 19.
So we're in the 6th year of him last winning it, and every year since it's been, could he give it a go? Despite the continued surgeries and just that trauma on the body, him being able to walk around at Augusta feels.
As I've talked to, we've had Gerber on, John Gerber, our golf betting guy, and he's played Augusta a couple times. He's been out there a lot, but he said it is a lot harder walk than you think. It is a much tougher walk at Augusta than it appears on TV. And I don't know if you saw this or not, Reese, but earlier in the week, Tiger registered for the U.S. Senior Open, which is played at Scioto this year.
Oh, I did not see that.
Now, that doesn't mean he enters.
Sure.
You have to register to then have a right to enter, but you have to register first. So he took the first step, though, earlier this week.
Oh, good.
Well, maybe. We'll see if it actually could happen. I don't know. I mean, it's...
I hope cooler head. I don't know if it's cooler heads is the right phrasing. He's not playing at Augusta. Not after yesterday's news and what's probably to come over the next couple of days.
I can't see anyway, yeah.
But if he's able, because the U.S. Senior Open's the 4th of July weekend here in Columbus, there's time to clean up this legal issue. You probably shouldn't have a license. Like I've said this about Myles Garrett. At this point, you should not be on the road. Get an Uber, have a driver. Certainly Woods, certainly Garrett can afford it.
Right.
Certainly the team, certainly the PGA could afford you to be transported professionally.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be doing it yourself. There's time there where he could be at Scioto for that on the 4th, but definitely not the Masters.
I wouldn't think.
It stinks because golf is still trying to recapture some of that magic when he was at his apex.
It'll never happen again.
They've spent the better part of 25 years trying to do so. It won't. But it's not for the lack of trying. There's just nobody that has the aura that he had and that it was as good as he was. There's not going to be anybody better at one singular sport than Tiger.
And if you want to, I know famously you say, Kobe Bryant used to make sure he worked out harder than everybody. In the offseason, Kobe worked out 3 times as much as other people do so they could never catch him. If you want to be the next Tiger, you better start playing golf at 2 or 3 years old. If you want to catch on that path, because that's how long he was doing. He was there, he's that young out there playing golf and doing miraculous things on the golf course. It's going to take that kind of a commitment for a long period of time to even come close to what Tiger was when he was at his apex.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. His son's in high school, Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie's in high school.
So kind of on like that similar path, but still nobody's ever going to be able to capture the attention of, I think, almost the world the way he was. Because it wasn't just hardcore golf fans that were tuning in every Sunday when he was in contention. It was the casuals. It was the water cooler folk that wanted to see this event.
Right.
It transcended sports. It's like the NCAA tournament in the Final Four. It transcends the actual sport itself, and he did that.
And beyond, you also remember when he joined up with Nike and how big that was. And that was about apparel and equipment for a long time. And now it's no longer, apparel's now the Nike golf apparel, the Tiger stuff is all gone, but you'd have to also, if you want to get that worldwide appeal, you have to have he had a very signature apparel style. You know what I mean? Like you wore Tiger Woods stuff. It wasn't Nike. It was Tiger stuff.
Yeah, now he's got his Sunday red.
Yeah, the Sunday.
So I did tune into the TGL. It was like the second of 3 legs in the final between the red team and the black team.
Right.
And it looked like Tiger had his red on, but all the other guys, I forget who else was on his team. I think Max Homa might have been.
Yeah.
They all had different shades of red. It looked like buddies that were just put together at the local muni.
Right.
Like they didn't have team uniforms in it. I'm like, all right, if you guys can't take this seriously, because they're hitting into screens.
Right.
They're, from the drive screen, they're walking over to a green, and the green's got like a spotlight where you got to mark the ball.
Right.
And they're trying to explain. Because Peter Burns was on the call for ESPN. They're trying to explain the rules, and I'm like, guys, I don't think the casual is going to jump in on this. They did a good job saying that Tiger's returning to competitive golf, which will always draw the eyeballs. But yeah, they just kind of look like a group of guys out there goofing around. And that's nothing like what you get with Augusta. That's nothing like what you get with the Memorial Tournament. But here's hoping that he makes it to Columbus, that someone drives him to the airport. He won't fly his own plane, hopefully. And then someone drives him from the airport in Columbus over to Sayada Country Club so he can participate.
Look,
it'd be a boom for everybody.
If he needs a ride or a place to stay, I live fairly close to. I mean, granted, when I say fairly close, that's not a brag. I'm saying I live fairly close to the Sayada Country Club, and I'll have a golf cart like we always do 4th of July weekend, so I can get him to and from the course rather easily.
Well, I'll do this as long as he'll allow me to, but Bob's house is closer.
Yeah, Bob's house. You're right. I'd be better volunteering Bob's
you think
house.
Tiger would? I mean, you think Bob would let Tiger hang out?
Oh, I think he would for sure. Yeah, he'd have a drinking buddy.
Well, I hope not.
Okay, if you don't think so.
Tiger, no.
Well, I don't say he should,
but he should not. But if he's there at Bob's, and then Bob can. What I keep saying this for the Senior Open is that Bob and his neighbors, they sell parking space on their lawn.
Absolutely, they should.
There are Ohio State dignitaries in and around those neighborhoods that if you sell it for like $50 a pop or $500 or $1,000 for the weekend, all that money can go to name, image, and likeness efforts at the Ohio State University.
Or it can just go to Tito.
Well, they're not going to give you money.
Well, I'm saying, that's why, look, I get it. We get a golf cart every 4th of July. I'm thinking I'm going to drive around
You rent a golf cart every 4th of July?
Every 4th of July we do, yeah. We get it for like a week. And, I mean, other people in UA have them like year round, but I only get it for a week. Yeah, but we get it for a week. But what I'm thinking, though, Eric, is if I get the golf cart, and I'll get it for like a week in advance, I'll drive around UA, and if I see people like walking towards the course, I'll offer a ride for $10, $15, whatever it is.
That'll just go to name, image, and likeness efforts of the Thidoff household.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yes. Yes, that's what it'll go towards.
That's a smart way to do it.
Right.
Blue Jackets have got to figure out a way to hold off the Islanders. San Jose tonight, Boston tomorrow, both games at Nationwide Arena. We'll have Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network, in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, but our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The madness is on and the deals are going full court at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Drive home the Powerhouse 2026 Tundra at 2.99% APR for up to 72 months and $1,000 Toyota financial cash. That's a slam dunk offer. Or you can drive home in the always reliable 2026 Camry LE for just $269 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year, and $36.99 due at signing. Don't sit on the sidelines. Hustle into Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
It sure is. Rieser, Tito, Nate with you until noon today. Coming up at 4 o'clock, you'll have Blue Jackets pregame coverage right here on The Fan. CBJ are taking on the San Jose Sharks. Puck drops at 5 o'clock over at Nationwide Arena. It's first responders night at the Old Barn. We go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline and bring on Dylan Tyrer of the Blue Jackets Radio Network. Dylan, thanks so much for the time this morning. I want to start this off with a quote from Rick Bowness. The next 10 games are going to be the hardest 10 games we've played all year. And then when we get in, and we're going to get in, then it's going to get harder, end quote. And if that doesn't make you want to run through a wall, I don't know what would. What's been the demeanor? Is the demeanor you've seen from this team been like that?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it. And I would say, yeah, it's been like that for a while, honestly. I think when Rick Bowness took over, in early January, at that point the Blue Jackets knew that it was do or die. And then they started to see some success and then continued that success under Rick Bowness. And the more that they've won, the more it's gotten serious around Nationwide Arena. So this team has been using that mindset for a while now, that every game is a playoff game. It's only going to get harder. And it just continues to ramp up because nobody will fall off in the Eastern Conference. So I think it's maybe even harder than I thought it would be at this point in the year, given all the winning the Blue Jackets were doing. But he is right. I mean, you look at some of the teams the Blue Jackets play down the stretch. You just look at the hockey they played last week. You've got to be on your game. And he also talked about being nastier. The Blue Jackets need to continue to get harder to play against. I just think that is a reminder to the group, hey, guys, this is hard right now. Let's leave it all out there. And then you got to see kind of where the chips fall in terms of where you're going to be in the playoff race and what the standings look like, et cetera.
4 goals in the last 3 games. And Dylan, is there a theme you're seeing? Is there a reason that's happening? Or is it one of those things where it's just tough luck taking the shots and just not getting to go in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough luck. And you look at kind of the goaltending performances that the Blue Jackets ran into, like Ilya Sorokin, against the Islanders, shuts them out. Sorokin might win the Vezina as the best goalie in the NHL this year. The game against Philadelphia, the Blue Jackets ended up winning. There's just not a whole lot of room to operate out there in a game like that either. But David Riddick, their goalie, always plays well against the Blue Jackets. Or Dan Vladar, their goalie always plays well against the Blue Jackets. And then the last game, Jakub Dobiš, unfortunately, a former Ohio State Buckeye, played very, very well, despite not having stellar numbers this season. With that said, the Blue Jackets can always do more to get greasier, and that's kind of what Rick Bowness was talking about and saying they need to be harder to play against. They need to be harder in the offensive zone. They need to be harder in front of the net. That's just grinding out those greasy goals. So, while the Blue Jackets have generated a lot of offense under Rick Bowness and scored some pretty goals, they do want to get a little bit nastier down low. They do want to be better in front of the net, capitalize on some of those rebounds. So that is the answer whenever teams are struggling to score goals, right? And especially this time of year, it's all about scoring those greasy goals, those grindy goals. And that's what the Blue Jackets are looking for today against San Jose and then again tomorrow against Boston.
You can hear him at 4 o'clock with Blue Jackets pregame coverage right here on The Fan. Jackets and Sharks at Nationwide Arena, 5 o'clock for the face-off there. Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network, is our guest. They officially listed Damon Severson, Jackets defenseman, week to week with an upper body injury he suffered earlier in the week against the Montreal Canadiens. Who steps in for Severson tonight in that defensive pairing? And then because it doesn't feel like this is a terrible time to do this because you can't be thin at this point going into a 10-game stretch like what they've got in front of them, the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, so we're going to hear from Rick Bowness at 2:30 today. The Blue Jackets skated yesterday, but they didn't have the whole group out there, obviously, because they had just played a lot of hockey and they were coming back just to kind of get a sweat. It'll either be Igor Zamula or Jake Christensen. We'll see how the Blue Jackets kind of go with things and go with their pairs on that blue line. I know one thing that they've really tried to do lately is go with the lefty-righty. They liked that mix before they had been, going with one all-lefty pair, one all-righty pair. We had seen that at times this season, and I don't think Rick Bowness likes that. Well, with a right-hander in Damon Severson coming out of the lineup, you are likely going to have to make that change where you're either going to go, or you're probably going to see an all-lefty third pair, whether it's Jake Christensen or Zamula, or maybe an all-lefty, second pair, depending on who moves up. So that is something that we do have to monitor today, and we will see how it changes potentially during the game. The Blue Jackets aren't afraid to start a game with certain pairs and then potentially change those pairs during the game based on how things are going. It's definitely not great to lose Damon Severson. I think he's playing his best hockey as a Blue Jacket right now. In fact, he scored the only Blue Jackets goal in their loss to the Montreal Canadiens, the game that he got hurt in. So it stinks to lose Sevo. It's good that it doesn't sound like it's long-term. And, hopefully the Blue Jackets are able to fill that gap because, as you led off with, it's only going to get harder in these final 10 games of the season.
Dylan, the Jackets are 5-2 in their last 7. Jets been in goal for 6 of those 7. Do you know or have an inkling of who's going to be between the pipes today for the CBJ?
Yeah, like I said, bonus will tell us at 2:30, but I would assume it's Elvis Merzlikins today, with this being game 1 of a back-to-back and tomorrow being an Eastern Conference playoff opponent in the Boston Bruins. I would imagine Jet gets that game. With that said, very curious to see, because we did see it last year, back-to-backs late in the season. They just said, all right, Jet, it's your net. You're going to do it. I just think the amount of hockey the Blue Jackets have played this game lends itself to Elvis Merzlikins starting. And the Blue Jackets have played well in front of Elvis for the last, month and a half, 2 months. So I think they have confidence in Elvis as well. So my expectation would be that Elvis Merzlikins plays today, and then we see Jet Greaves tomorrow against the Bruins.
It's an incredible spot. The Blue Jackets find themselves third in the Metropolitan Division, just 1 point back of the Penguins for that second spot. But right there with them at 87 points are the New York Islanders. Dylan, what do you foresee with Pittsburgh? Because I keep hearing from Jackets fans that they would love, because I'll echo Rick Bowness's sentiment, and they're getting in the playoffs, a first-round matchup against the Penguins. How do you think that would go? And would you, like me, want to see a healthy Sidney Crosby for Pittsburgh just to beat him?
Yeah, I think you want to see everybody for the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? Because, the history between these teams, you would love to slay the Dragon. There are a lot of possible matchups right now in the first round, depending on where the Blue Jackets finish. But let's say they finish 2 or 3 in the Metro. That'll likely be the Pittsburgh Penguins. It could be the Islanders. I would prefer to face the Pittsburgh Penguins than the New York Islanders, just because the Islanders are so stingy. It seems to be a complete slog whenever they play the Blue Jackets, just not a lot of room for either team to do anything. And the Islanders have the better goaltending situation. That has been the weakness for the Pittsburgh Penguins this season. Their goaltenders, Stuart Skinner and, whoever else might play. If it's Archer Shelovs, I don't know what they would do in the playoffs. But you have the built-in storyline of the Blue Jackets potentially facing Yegor Chinakhov, which would certainly be intriguing. You've got, the upstart Blue Jackets against the wily veterans of the Pittsburgh Penguins, who were back in the Stanley Cup playoffs in a year that they weren't supposed to make it. I just think the Blue Jackets have played some exciting hockey against Pittsburgh this season, similar to the way that they've played the Islanders tough in every game. The Blue Jackets have played the Penguins tough in every game. I know it hasn't necessarily gone the Blue Jackets' way every time. They split this year with, I believe, every game going beyond regulation. So, that sounds like a really tight, really fun series. And it would be fun, I guess, to renew that Blue Jackets-Penguins rivalry that we saw really frequently at the beginning of kind of that John Tortorella Blue Jackets era. So we would go back there for this new era of Blue Jackets, which would be a lot of fun. But like I told you, if I had to pick between the Penguins and the New York Islanders, I would probably pick Pittsburgh because of the goaltending situation, but it's always a little bit scary to choose to face off with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin in the playoffs. That is for sure.
You mentioned Chinakhov. He's done pretty well for Pittsburgh since going over there. Is that just change of scenery? What do you think? Is it like, why do you think Chinakhov's had success so far with the Penguins?
Well, he's playing with one of the best players in the world, who is his countryman, and Evgeny Malkin. I would say that is a big part of it. The change of scenery, definitely just breathing new life into his situation. For whatever reason, it just didn't work out here with the Blue Jackets. I think people always saw the skill, the ability that Yegor Chinakhov had, But I'll tell you this, we also saw that in, 30, 45 game bursts here at times with the Blue Jackets. And that's kind of where he's at with the Pittsburgh Penguins right now. I'd be curious to see him over the course of a full season. I assume we'll see that next year if he can stay healthy. That's something he struggled with in the NHL. So, it's obviously a great situation for him right now. He's playing big minutes with good players on the Pittsburgh Penguins, a team that has been good this season. But I'd be curious to see Chinakhov do it for a little bit longer in an extended situation next year.
Dylan, admittedly, I haven't watched much San Jose Sharks hockey this season. I think they played the Blue Jackets once back in January and got the win over the CBJ. 6-game losing streak, what the Sharks are riding into Nationwide Arena. What can you tell our listeners about what San Jose presents tonight at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, San Jose is struggling right now, maybe running out of gas just a little bit. They're a young team fueled by young superstars. Macklin Celebrini right at the top of that list. He's probably the best young player in the NHL, the future of the NHL, a guy that has drawn comparisons to Sidney Crosby. Celebrini was the number 1 overall pick in 2024, had a very good rookie season, has completely exploded this year as one of the top scorers in the NHL. On top of that, he's a solid two-way player. And I think he really took the national stage, at least in the United States, at the Winter Olympics playing for Team Canada. When Sidney Crosby was out of that lineup injured, it was Macklin Celebrini that John Cooper was using in big situations alongside the two best players in the world, and Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid. So that's the type of guy that Macklin Celebrini is for the San Jose Sharks, despite being so young. They also have lots of other good young talent, and Will Smith, William Eklund, a lot of good players, a lot of good young forwards. Michael Misa, the 2nd overall pick in 2025. So this is a team that's definitely building for the future. They had the opportunity to put themselves into the playoff race coming out of the Olympic break, but you reeled off those 6 consecutive losses. They put themselves in a really, really tough position now. So it looks like the Sharks are going to fall short, but I think it tells you a lot. A team that was in the basement of the NHL gave themselves an opportunity this season, and now they've just kind of run out of gas. So definitely a team the Blue Jackets have to be aware of with all of that skill that San Jose has. But this is also a game the Blue Jackets absolutely have to win.
Yeah, because you got Boston in town tomorrow. So whatever happens tonight at the Barn, you can't either dwell on it too much or celebrate too much, knowing that the Bruins will be here tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. He is Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network. Hear him on the Fan at tonight or today-ish around 4 o'clock, and then tomorrow at 4 o'clock for pregame coverage. Dylan, thanks so much for the time this morning. Enjoy the wild weekend.
Yep, thank you guys. I appreciate it. NHL Network analyst Jason Demers will be joining me at 4 o'clock. He had some high praise for the Columbus Blue Jackets last week, so you can find out what that is.
So
Thanks, guys.
Be sure you're listening to that this afternoon. Of course, we like to have Dylan every Saturday now that this is something hopefully he can build a company. I guess we should have kept him on to ask him, like, hey, bill the extra half an hour, though. I don't know.
I was going to ask you this now. Are we going till 4 o'clock? Or are they going to put some?
We are not. No, they've got Westwood one.
Well, maybe.
I'm not going to volunteer that.
I'm not going to volunteer. I'm just saying that we might have a choice. So if it goes dead air again at 3 o'clock.
Maybe it's not the choice. I am going to choose at noon to leave this building.
Okay, we can stay noon to 4. I don't know what
is that something you would be on from now until 4? You know what? Think about it. Yeah. We'll get your answer coming up next. Sports Saturday on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
March Madness is here again, and so is a Great Clips $12.99 haircut coupon. From dominating the bracket pool to demolishing game day snacks, Great Clips gets that March is every fan's favorite month. And with a $12.99 haircut coupon, your hair can be as ready for the action as you are. Grab a $12.99 haircut coupon now at greatclips.com/March Madness. Great Clips, official hair salon of March Madness. Valid only at participating U.S. salons. Terms apply. March Madness is a trademark of the National Collegiate Athletic Association.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1, 2, 3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
Get Eco.
When your drain is clogged, our drain team will clear it for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it will stay clear for at least a year, or we'll clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
Go to geteco.com. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America. 200 food banks strong.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at 1033 Polaris Parkway at Polaris Commons. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Polaris Commons in Columbus.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
Teachers need tons of help.
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Bacon, sausage, egg, cheese, made from scratch biscuits, fresh baked croissants, cinnamon swirl French toast. Hungry? Grab a hot UDF breakfast sandwich made in store for your morning. UDF, mornings made for you.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You know, spring cleaning is a thing that happens in the spring. Go figure, it's in the name. But as you're getting rid of some stuff in your house that you no longer need, doesn't work right, or you never should have had in the first place, why don't you add your windows to that list? Yeah, your windows may have bad insulation. That's why they let in the cold air in the winter and the warm air in the summer. Makes your home less energy efficient. It's costing you money every single month. With Window Nation, you get high-quality, energy-efficient products at a great price. All of Window Nation's products are backed by a lifetime warranty, and right now is a great time to upgrade. The more you buy, the more you save in March. Up to 50% off all window styles from Window Nation. Plus, there's great financing options, including $0 down, 0% interest for 60 months, and payments as little as $199 a month. The first step is getting a consultation with Window Nation so they can find the problem areas in your house. I'm going to guess they're near the windows. So schedule that consultation for free today at windownation.com. Once again, that's windownation.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Rieser, Tito, Nate with you until noon. Our thanks to Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network, for giving us some of his time this morning before he pops back on the Fan at 4 o'clock for Jackets pregame coverage between the CBJ and San Jose. Sharks, Bruins. And then next week, it's kind of a back-to-back. Carolina in town on Tuesday. Then you're at Carolina next Thursday, Saturday, hosting the Winnipeg Jets. So those are 5 of the last 10. Then Detroit, Buffalo, Montreal, Boston. You wrap the season Tuesday, April 14th against the Washington Capitals.
Today's a huge day. It's like it was last week on that one day. I think it might have been Tuesday last week, where like all the teams surrounding the Jackets are in action. And so a lot of scoreboard watching go on. Last week, it worked out perfectly for the Jackets when they jumped up to second in the Metro.
Sure did.
Everyone lost and did not lose in overtime. Lost a regulation that they needed to. A similar situation today would be nice. I believe most of the teams around the Jackets are underdogs in their games, save for maybe the Islanders. The Islanders are favored over Florida slightly, I believe. But then like Minnesota's favored at Boston. Dallas is favored at Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay's favorite against Ottawa. Yeah, so it's setting up nicely for the Jackets today if everything holds true.
Yeah, Thursday was pretty miserable. CBJ lose to the Montreal Canadiens, and then Pittsburgh beats Ottawa in a shootout. The Islanders beat Dallas in regulation. What you've got today, what you said, it's at 1 o'clock. You're going to have the Islanders hosting the Florida Panthers, and then 5 o'clock tonight, the Bruins and the Wild. I don't think you're looking at the Carolina Hurricanes because you're not going to catch them in terms of points for first in the Metro.
I know.
But they're hosting the Devils at 5 o'clock again. Jackets, Sharks at 5 tonight as well.
But like Carpenter said last week, he was saying, hey, you never know. They play Carolina twice still. That's a 4-point swing there.
That week, this upcoming week's going to be a pretty big swing. I mean, if everything goes the way for the Blue Jackets tonight and tomorrow this weekend, say they're able to pull 4 points out of these 2 games, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Just probability is kind of where I'm at on that.
I really want to see the Jackets with home ice against the Penguins in the first round. That'd be so much fun.
I do too. And I also wonder, like, if Rick Bowness is here, maybe was it January when they traded Chinnikov?
I think it was around that time, yeah.
If Bowness is here a month early, is Chinny still a Blue Jacket? And I want to say yes.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see when he got traded. Let me see
the exact when, because Bowness took over on the 12th
January 12th.
January.
Okay, December 29th, he got traded to the Penguins.
Couple weeks.
Yeah. And you think he'd still be here?
I think so. Yeah.
Because?
Well, I just don't think it ever worked out between Dean Evison and.
Okay, you think it was more? It was an organization.
No, I think it was the coach. It was a coach-player situation, much as the way it was with Elvis and Dean Evison. And not to knock Evison, I think he did a tremendous job last season with where the team was, and you lose Johnny Gaudreau before the season even begins.
Right.
And you're able to go through the season. You're able to make it matter for the Stadium Series game. You come 2 points short of a playoff spot, but like give great credit to Don Waddell for pulling the plug when he did.
And yeah, the fact that Waddell did what he did when he did it with the coaching change takes huge stones.
Yes, it does.
Because Jackets are in last place. I get it. But I would not blame him for saying, you know what, this is probably a lost season.
Yeah, write it out.
And look what Evison did for us last year. How great that was during a very difficult time. He's endeared himself to Jackets fans as far as what he was able to do. Just based on what happened last year and where we're at right now today on January 12th, whatever it was, let's let it ride out and address it after the season. And the fact he did it, and it's worked out the way it has, that's amazing, Reese.
Yeah. It
takes huge stones to do that.
It's awesome to have this during this time of the year.
Yeah.
Because we have so much going on. You have the Elite Eight that starts tomorrow. You've got baseball. Happy opening day. Happy belated opening day to those who celebrate, except for the Giants and the Yankees. Go to hell with that. But then you've got the Blue Jackets in a legitimate playoff push that are going to give you postseason hockey in Columbus. Yeah. And I've seen the way that this town and these fans glom on to that. It's awesome. For those who haven't experienced it, you're in for a treat. The next 10, however many of the 10, I think it's maybe 5 at Nationwide Arena, sellouts. You almost have no doubt. I think it's first responders tonight against the San Jose Sharks. So this is why we love sports so much, because of the opportunity and the hope that it gives us for things like this. Because a lot of us are Browns fans, and you're just not getting any of that with the team up north.
That's too bad.
I just see a lot in the YouTube chat.
I know. Listen, I'm so tired of this.
It's deserved.
No, it's not.
How you were once a Browns fan, and then you are now a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Listen, and like I said in the chat, do you blame Justin Timberlake for breaking up with Britney because she cheated on him? No.
This is two different,
totally
completely different situations.
No, Justin left because Britney cheated on him. I'm Justin.
Yeah, but Justin didn't go to Christina then.
Do we know that? He might have. I'm saying, no, it didn't go long term. Wouldn't surprise me, though.
We'll do some Browns at 11 o'clock because it was a very busy week for the Ohio State football team, who has spring practice this morning, but had every single NFL team in attendance for Pro Day on Wednesday. You'll hear from Ryan Day. You'll hear from Matt Patricia and new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith coming up next at Sports Saturday on The Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Columbus, are you hungry? Well, it's a good thing Uber Eats has the best deals at all your favorite local restaurants. Like this great deal at El Vaquero. From now until March 31st, you can get a buy one, get one free quesadilla deal. All on the Uber Eats app. That's good for me, but I need to figure out what everybody else is going to eat. So next time you're craving a great meal, don't overthink it. Just get on the Uber Eats app and save big with a great deal. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
At Germain Honda of Dublin, they get it. Nobody grows up dreaming of driving a minivan, but it's hard to argue with unbeatable versatility. Enter the Honda Odyssey, packed with space, comfort, and family-friendly features that make life easier. And if you want efficiency, Germain Honda has you covered with great incentives on hybrid favorites like the CR-V, the Civic, and the Accord. Shop Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270 and at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Are you tired of running out of space? Check out Menard's Self-Storage Facility. Menard Self-Storage offers the most convenient and secure self-storage in the area. Options include features like 24/7 access, video surveillance, and on-site management. Menards has warehouse units at the best prices in the area, and your first month is free. They're going quickly, so reserve yours now at menardselfstorage.com. Unit and offer details may vary by facility.
Save big money at Menards.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later.
Sound familiar, Dale?
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Nate Puderball, their sports update. The Final Four will feature at least one team from the Big Ten. The Elite Eight is all set. Illinois and Iowa are set to square off tonight at 6 o'clock with Arizona and Purdue in the late game. Tomorrow sees Michigan face off with Tennessee, and Duke and UConn wrapping up the weekend. The CBJ look to get back on track after dropping 2 out of 3 on the road. They've got back-to-back games out at Nationwide this weekend. They square off with the Sharks at 5. Catch extended pregame coverage here on the Fan starting at 4. The Cincinnati Reds will continue their series with the Red Sox today. First pitch comes your way at 4:10 with Brady Singer squaring off with Sonny Gray. We'll have all the action over on the Fan too. And the Guardians look to bounce back from a 5-1 loss to the Mariners last night out in Seattle. Joey Cantillo takes the mound against Brian Wu. First pitch is tonight at 9:40. And the Cleveland Cavaliers knocked out the Miami Heat last night 149-128. They return to the court Monday night taking on the Jazz. Breaking sports news weapons in the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Eric Rieser, Jeff Thidoff. You heard Nate there in the update. Busy weekend for sports in the Buckeye State. Ohio State football has their 5th practice of the spring going on right now at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Following practice, you'll be able to hear from Cortez Hankton, their new wide receivers coach, and Jeremiah Smith. They'll meet with reporters 11:30-ish. All the times float.
Yep.
Understandably so. And then coming up on Tuesday, they'll have their 6th practice of the spring. That'll be at 8:30 start. Ryan Day is going to speak around 11 o'clock. So 11 o'clock Tuesday, look to hear from Ohio State's head coach on Bishop and Friends. We'll carry his comments as soon as he hits the podium. It's not a brag. I'm just properly preparing the people for what's going to happen next week.
We won't have it on Morning Juice Live because we're on at a
You're
different
on
time.
too early.
I know that's fine. But I'm not. If we were gonna have him on our show, I wouldn't say it right now in front of you.
If you were going to have him as a guest, you should.
I would do it. I would do it privately. I wouldn't do it right in front of your face.
When do you and Bobby book your guests? Is it the night before, or are you doing it a couple days out? Will you have Matt Patricia or Arthur Smith or anybody on in the
It's
next couple of
really
weeks?
tough at that time.
Yes.
And I will. With someone like that, I will just keep bugging Bobby. Hey, get this guy on. Hey, get this guy on. I tried to get Mark Sanchez on. He wouldn't get him on. But things like that, usually people say it's too early. That's the problem.
I do understand why Mark Sanchez would be hesitant to join you guys.
And I always play a game with him where we talk about somebody like Brady. I said, how many phone calls would it take you to get to Brady?
Bob?
Yeah.
2?
It might take 2. I think 2 is the number he said. Yeah. 2. And I also about Charlie Sheen. How many phone calls would it take you to get to Charlie Sheen? I think he said 3 or 4 he'd get to Sheen.
Okay.
And so I'm just saying, because I have no self-awareness and I don't care. I just
or shame.
Yeah, right. I just call him. Then why don't you do that? I'm not going to call Tom Brady, get him on the show. Why not? Do it. It's for our show.
So you brought it up. There was chatter after last Sunday's Fanatics football thing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't watch because I just no interest in things like that. But I guess he did well in that. They got crushed from what I saw by the American flag football team.
Yes.
And it's hilarious to me that still the NFL and some of their players think that they can take spots from those guys for the Olympics.
Right.
And it showed on the field. You, in fact, cannot because they're 2 different games.
It is much different. And that one quarterback, Doucette was his name, the one who said he was a player. He's not just a quarterback. He's the one who said he's better than Mahomes at flag football a while back.
Probably.
And he came out and he was great. He's 5'8", 140 pounds. Or 5'8", 150.
He's probably better at flag football.
Yes. Did you see they had tryout? Team USA is going to play in the World Championships in July, I think, in Germany, a flag football team. But they had some kind of tryouts for people who might want to go for it.
Sure.
RG3 went through the tryouts.
Okay.
And he made the cut. So now they went down from whatever number they had at the tryouts down to 24. They're going to have 3 training practices now and then whittle it down from there. 3 sessions they're going to call it. But RG3 is among the final 24 being considered. Another guy who tried out, Reese, but didn't make it was Darryl Green.
How old is he?
66. Still, it says a competitive senior sprinter. But he was out there trying out for it, did not make the cut. But yeah, RG3 is one of the ones that made the final 24.
I feel like this is going to start to take a World Baseball Classic life of its own when you get to the Olympics, is where guys that in the NFL, because you see them on the back of the helmets, where they have flags of countries where they've got relatives from.
Yeah.
I know Tyvis says he would like to play for Team Jamaica.
Of course he would. That's Tyvis, man.
Like Brian Rocchio played for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic. I'm pretty sure he's from Venezuela.
I think you're right, yes.
I do wonder with the NFL players that aren't able to make Team USA, if they start to see, all right, well, where do my parents have, they'll go through their genealogy and figure out, well, which country can I claim and then just play for them.
And if you, it'd be smart for the NFL. It'd be smart if they want to really grow the sport, it would be smart to make sure there's a couple of NFL players or prominent former NFL players on the roster when it's all said and done. Might not be key players, but someone that people would recognize their names, I think, to get people to watch.
It's probably the smart play. 2028 in the Los Angeles games?
Yeah, it's 2028, yep.
Because it's always smart, I think, to have name recognition.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that problem with Ohio State, but they've got plenty of NFL people on their staff. They hired a black belt to do hand fighting. You saw it with Joe Kim, the long time. He was at Illinois last season. He's been with pretty much everybody, but he knew Matt Patricia, and so that was where that connection from. It felt like Matt Patricia knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were talking with Bob. I had Joshua Perry in with me on Bishop and Friends this week about how many people at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center for Ohio State's Wednesday Pro Day were just chatting it up with Patricia.
Right.
And it feels like when you say, take Bob 2 phone calls to get to Brady Quinn, 4 phone calls to get to Charlie Sheen. If you have questions about any of these Ohio State players and you're an NFL organization, all you got to do is call Matt.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the greatest things that I didn't think about in terms of the developed here moniker that they're still going to be able to use now and forever, even with Jackson Smith and Jigba, who became the highest paid wide receiver in the league. Developed here, paid there. Like one of these three players, probably all three of the defenders, and Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Arvell Reese are going before the top 10.
Yeah.
And the idea that Patricia is the guy that they can just call if they have a question about it probably at any time of the day.
Yeah.
Because at this point in the year, actually, I don't know if there's a point in a year where Matt Patricia's not thinking about football. Because now you've got the national championship game late January. I think the 2026 season will have theirs on January 25th of 2027.
I think that's right, yeah.
And then you're right back in, you're just right into spring.
And the puddle happens always before that starts with that. It's like you're still thinking.
So you're never kind of out of it.
No.
For Ohio State's defensive coordinator, he held court after their fourth practice of the spring, and he's going into his second year in Columbus, and he signed an extension that made him one of, if not the highest paid coordinator in college, and deservedly so. He was asked about his expectations coming from the pros to Ohio State.
I don't know if I set maybe expectations or not, or just kind of go in with the idea of hey, let's just try to do as much as we can to impact in the biggest way possible. So for me, that part of it's been amazing, to go in and have a lot of joy to be around these kids and watch them work and grow and learn, and certainly going through the process this year with the draft and watching everybody get ready to go, and so excited for those guys of what's next, and for bright futures for them, and to get a new group in this year and kind of try to do the same thing. You just that's what it's all about, right? Trying to help and do whatever you can to make hopefully lives better for guys.
I think joy is the proper word here in terms of Patricia and the marriage with Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's joy for him, joy for the program, joy for the players. I mean, you see Caleb Downs with his arm around Patricia anytime those two are together. Joy for the fans and getting to watch the number one defense in the country. Because you think about Ohio State in the college football playoff, Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, the defense was so good. It wasn't complimentary football played by the Buckeyes in the last two games of the season, but the defense at no point in the year did you have questions or doubts about.
Right.
And that's so much to do with what Patricia did, coming in saying, I've got a defensive scheme that I want to run, but I got to make sure I've got the ingredients to do it. And if I've got guys that I can put in spots to be the best football players, I'm absolutely going to do that. And so I think the greatest testament to that's been Arvell Reese. And it's been funny. The online conversation about players is always funny, right? Where you have Arvell Reese and his bend. Because I keep looking at that picture somebody posted out there that was in a way, I think, to say, look at Ruben Bain's bend, look at Arvell Reese's bend. If you're going to ask both to rush the passer. But Ruben Bain is been a pass rusher his whole football life. I'm sure he's done other. I think I saw him run a route, I think, at Miami's Pro Day on Monday.
Right.
He's an ultimate athlete. But you've just kind of scratched the surface with Arvell Reese as a pass rusher. And asking him to do that from a three-point stance or even to do it standing, those are two different players. But for Reese, it's the ultimate ball of clay. And Patricia showed just how you can start to mold it.
And you look at the growth.
The ceiling is incredible.
Yes, the growth he had in just that time. And, so, yes, it is going to be interesting to see with Reese. You're right, all three are going to be in the top 10. And I think Tate goes in the top 10, too. I think you have all four go in the top 10 there. I don't think Downs falls below the Bengals at 10.
Oh, no, if he's there for Cincinnati, and they're not
if he's
sprinting.
at 10, and get on the stage immediately.
Yes.
I mean, because he's the guy that he's not a fully formed football player, because none of these players are, but you've seen in 3 seasons just what he's able to do at every single spot on the field almost, except for pass rushing.
Yeah.
But you can blitz him, and he's a missile. Here's Matt Patricia on the positive NFL feedback on Ohio State's defense.
I'd say that's probably one of the best compliments I've had in the last couple of days, just talking with my NFL guys that I know that have come back watching our tape here recently, getting our guys ready. They just keep saying, the tape is so clean, it's so clean, and it's just, that means, you're operating at a high level on the field. And I think if you do that, you give yourself a chance to win.
Do not care about Caleb Downs' knee. Do not care about 40 times. Vertical jump's cool. I know Sonny Styles is a freak athlete. I know this. Those guys are turn on the tape and watch them shine. And to that point about Matt Patricia and the defensive scheme that he was able to change up, able to make, I guess, variety would be the right word there because of the different kind of players that you had. This isn't here's my binder, you have to listen to what's in here.
Right.
And here's how we're going to do things. Patricia came in with an open mind and said, what do I have? What is each offense each week present me? That's the defense that we're going to play. And he's got a similar challenge. I think it's a tougher challenge replacing a guy like Caleb Downs, but you've got 8 spots open. I think they brought in 8 portal persons that are going to be in the 2 deep for Ohio State's defense. And, the 51 new players, I think, is going to be one of the themes of this spring, one of the themes into the fall. And a lot of those guys have played football. Like you heard from James Smith earlier in the week. He'll probably be on Ohio State's starting front, the defensive tackle from Alabama. Yep. Actually, let's do James Smith real quick, talking about why Ohio State was the right fit.
I kind of say, it kind of gave me, a feeling from back, when I was busy as a freshman with Saban, it kind of felt like that, because here, I ain't gonna lie, I came here, they didn't lie to me not one time. Nothing they told me, because Larry Johnson told me, it's gonna be hard, so I was okay with that.
The idea that now where both programs are, if you look at Alabama and you look at Ohio State,
right?
How a guy like James Smith, and I think it was even the question he was asked, the difference between Alabama and Ohio State, just talked about the intentionality that Ohio State has that he's never seen before. Even he's not seen since Nick Saban. And I think that's a great credit to Ryan Day, to Matt Patricia, to really how everything works over at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. And going back to that, the challenge that Patricia's got for this year's defense, having to replace those players, guys like James Smith, who've played a ton of football, who kind of know how to do everything up to the game. And then in the game, you just trust them to be great football players. It's never going to be easy, but I think that's what makes the challenge appealing.
We replaced a bunch of guys last year, but at least the guys were kind of in-house. So it was like they waited their opportunity, stepped up. And I think when that happens, certainly when you look at it from a team standpoint, culture and the way you do things and kind of the standard, all that stuff is set. We're just, picking it up with the next group. With as much new and, guys coming into the program for the first time, not only are you trying to catch them up on all the football scheme and all the rest of it, but you're also trying to catch them up on everything else. This is how we work. This is how we do things. This is the standard that we're looking for. This is how we practice. This is how we, prepare. This is what we do. We go to school. All of that now has to be also taught. So it becomes a lot, but that's, why you bring in the right guys that have that mental makeup that can do all that.
You're never going to be able to replace a guy like Caleb Downs, but with what they did in the portal, Terry Moore, Earl Little Jr., even Devin Sanchez, I think I saw locking up Jeremiah Smith the other day in a post that Ohio State football had online. You've got tremendous faith that this is going to be just as effective of a defense as it was last year, even with the schedule being tougher.
And you are right about how critical is. I say critical. Critical is the wrong word. How fascinating it'll be to see what happens with this defense with Patricia having to replace all those guys. I mean, they get 51 new players on the roster this year, which is a big number. It's not Deion big, but it's big, though. I think Deion had 86 his first year, new players from the previous year.
Luggage.
Yeah, but 51, though, for Ohio State's a big number for the Buckeyes.
Yeah. This was something that I saw, and we'll get more from Ohio State's Silver Bullets coming up in the latter part of the hour. I'm just looking at something from Davis and Igbinosin. And an idea that he might, a little handsy. That's kind of what you get with him, though, right? And you maybe want to try. I guess you want to kind of turn that down. But he refuted something that's pretty funny. I think you'll want to hear coming up next. Sports Saturday on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Every time you pull onto a job site, your name pulls in with you. That's why the pros trust Bobcat equipment. Buy the machine you're proud to run, backed by the crew that's been serving the industry since 1975. That's 50 years of showing up, long after you receive the keys. Bobcat Enterprises is here for you with 9 locations serving Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. On every job, you deserve a team that stands behind you. Visit bobcatent.com to learn more.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at Coghlan Ford. During Ford Truck Month, take over $13,000 off MSRP, plus no payments until June on select new F-150s. New Bronco Sport or Ranger. Lease for $399 a month for 48 months. Visit CoghlanFord.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
Factory rebates to the dealer. 90-day deferred payments. Not all buyers will qualify. Bronco $399 down. Ranger $2,000 down. 7,500 miles per year. 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee. $395 disposition fee at lease. No security deposit. Ends 3/31/26.
Coffee, iced cap, refreshers. Tim Hortons has all your favorite beverages. And now you can get your favorite bite for less. When you buy any size beverage, add a baked daily donut for $1. A tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. So next time you order your favorite Tim's beverage, add something that satisfies your cravings and your wallet. The $1, $2, $3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply.
I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers. Tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
I'm Roger from Columbus. I've lived in Ohio all my life. Owning your home is a cornerstone of the American dream. But for seniors, property taxes keep going up and are costing us everything we've worked for. They're even making it impossible for my grandkids to afford their first homes. Vivek Ramaswamy believes when you own your home, you're in charge. As governor, he'll roll back property taxes to levels from before the end of the pandemic. It's a practical plan that will put thousands of dollars back in your pocket next year while maintaining strong education and dependable police and fire. Ohio's politicians have ignored this crisis for too long. But Vivek Ramaswamy isn't a politician. He's an entrepreneur, and he's ready to fight for you. Ohio needs a leader who makes your life more affordable. That's Vivek Ramaswamy.
Lower costs, bigger paychecks, better schools. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron?
Yeah, Jerry?
Something is wrong.
Something's wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Thumping and bumping and jumping.
What is?
But it's not pumping.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Jerry?
Yeah, Aaron.
Are we talking about your sump pump?
Yeah. Isn't it great?
Isn't what great?
I like the sound of it. Sump pump. Sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Jerry, can you keep a secret?
Aaron, I'm as silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
I kind of like to say it too.
Hey, I should invent a sump pump that lets you know when it's working.
How would it do that?
It would say, sump pump, sump pump, sump pump.
That's a great idea, Jerry, but a sump pump should be exactly like you.
How so?
As silent as a bank vault in Switzerland.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Like a rite of spring, Tita Green begins Masters Week. Hosted by Skip Mossick, Lifetime Achievement Award winner by the Southern Ohio PGA. It adds a touch of class to the radio station.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You've heard me talk about High Bank's award-winning spirits, but let's talk about the food. High Bank delivers incredible meals and handcrafted cocktails in a space that works for every part of your week. Start with happy hour, drinks with friends, come back for brunch worth planning your weekend around, then stay for dinner. And get this, kids eat half off every Monday. Great food, award-winning drinks, a reason to come back time and time again. Make a reservation today at a location near you at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
It's never a bad time to fire up the grill. At Billiards Plus, the grilling season never ends. While you're grill shopping, you'll love browsing Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When we designed our Columbus Blue Jacket ticket plans, we designed them for fans like you. For fans who want to choose their games and their seats. And fans who need flexibility when their plans change. Columbus Blue Jacket season ticket plans. Get your tickets now at bluejackets.com. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We have a lot of sunshine around today. Highs are a little cool, though, in the upper 40s. Another chilly night ahead, too, as we head into the overnight. Overnight lows will drop to about 30. Get ready on Sunday, although more clouds around, still some sunshine with warmer temperatures with highs right around 60. I'm meteorologist Melissa Mack with your 10 weather impact forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Saturday.
All right, before we get to Davis Igbinosun from Ohio State's Pro Day earlier in the week, Tito, you had an interesting question in the break about a moniker for Ohio State's defense.
Yeah, so you referred to them as the Silver Bullets. And I don't know your opinion on this, but I've often been of the belief that the Silver Bullets thing is not something you just give to an Ohio State defense. I feel like they have to earn it. It's almost like getting the black stripe taken off, where just because when the season starts, I would not call the Ohio State defense the Silver Bullets. I would just say if they show it after a few games, then you can start calling, rip the stripe off, and you can start calling the Silver Bullets in. But I don't think every defense goes into the season with the moniker Silver Bullets. I think it has to be earned.
I think you can, if you're the number one defense in the country like they were last season, yes, you lost 8 players. You lost probably one of the best college football defenders in the last decade.
Yeah.
And Caleb Downs. I think you can, I think it's fair to maintain the moniker, but you can lose it quickly if your defense is not Silver Bullet caliber against like a Texas. Because if your statement about having to earn it, like you're going to blow out Ball State,
right?
So I would think that if you are a number one defense in the country, it would give you great momentum going into the season to be Silver Bullet caliber.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that, but I'm also okay if the defenders on this Ohio State defense want to do like what the team did last year and say that was last year. Like they wanted the banner taken down. Like they won the 2024 team won the national championship. The 2025 team has yet to do anything. If the 2026 team were to say something similar, like we have to earn that moniker.
The Falcons years ago used to run a defense that had a great nickname called the Grits Blitz.
Yep.
And so they don't use it anymore.
No.
Because they're not always Grits Blitz worthy.
Yeah.
You know, the Purple People Eaters of Minnesota. You know, there's different nicknames that have come across. The Orange Crush defense in Denver. Different defenses have had nicknames, but they only go for so long. But I don't know. And I have no reason to think that Ohio State won't be Silver Bullet worthy this year.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I even think it's great for guys, you know, coming out like Garrett Stover or Christian Allegro out of the transfer portal. You know, when you have guys dealing with things in spring that aren't able to go, you give them the opportunity to kind of take reps.
Yeah.
Take reps with the ones. And I know it's spring and we're only, 6 practices in, isn't going to show you too much. You're not going to get a ton at the spring game, but just those little opportunities, I think, are going to really help out once you start to put on the pads in the fall and once things start to get in the install, once you start to look at Texas week 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this from Davis and Igbinosun back in 2024. So Jim Knowles was the defensive coordinator then, but in October of that year, Jim Knowles, in talking about IGB and trying to cut down on pass interference penalties, said, quote, "We got to put the gloves on him so that he can't grab." And I think it was a couple days after that, he made a game, he made the game against Penn State, the interception in the end zone. The Buckeyes won 20-13 in Happy Valley. And back at Pro Day, Davis and Igbinosun was asked, did you have to wear oven mitts at practice?
Right.
Quote, "That's cap. That's not true." I don't know who made that up. I think it was Jim Knowles. I've seen that narrative, but I came back to change that narrative.
See, he said gloves, but I think he meant mittens.
Yeah.
Gloves wouldn't prevent you from being handsy, right?
No.
I think you put gloves on my hands, I can still throw a snowball.
Yeah, I think it was just a joke that was taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
But good of IGB to say, no, I want to catch intercept. I want to catch picks. I can't really do that with the gloves on.
Right.
And like this, it's a fair. It was a fair criticism then. And I think it was something that you asked every week. Let's be less handsy.
Yeah.
I think players are who they are. I think you get a little aggressive, and I think that's so hard to coach out of them. I think with a guy, and I looked at Jermaine Matthews. I think there's a lot that you want to coach up, but you also want to have him kind of be, because he's got to take a leadership role. And so you need that supreme confidence. But sometimes players with supreme confidence make more emotional mistakes on the field. So that balance, I think, it's something especially suited. Matt Patricia is especially suited to kind of bridge that, right? To walk that happy line, to maintain that balance between a player that's extremely confident in their abilities and a player, keeping that confidence, but also, knocking off the nonsense on the field.
Yes. The Igbinosun thing, very real at the time, by the way, as far as we saw all the time. He getting called for, getting called for that quite a bit.
He was handsy.
Yeah, he was. He was absolutely handsy. My nickname in high school, too, by the way. But yes, but it got better as the season went on this year. It did get better. And so it's not that I don't have the same fears, not that he's going to be at Ohio State anymore, but I wouldn't have the same concerns I would have had 2 years ago as I do now about him.
Matt Patricia asked the challenges of this year's defense compared to last year.
We replaced a bunch of guys last year, but at least the guys were kind of in-house. So it was like they waited their opportunity, stepped up. And I think when that happens, certainly when you look at it from a team standpoint, culture and the way you do things and kind of the standard, all that stuff is set. We're just, picking it up with the next group. With as much new and guys coming into the program for the first time, not only are you trying to catch them up on all the football scheme and all the rest of it, but you're also trying to catch them up on everything else. This is how we work. This is how we do things. This is the standard that we're looking for. This is how we practice. This is how we, prepare. This is what we do. We go to school. Like all of that now has to be also taught. So it becomes a lot, but that's, why you bring in the right guys that have that mental makeup that can do all that.
That's the part, by the way, Reese, the fact that he has a bigger say on who's in.
Yeah.
Like was it Parcells? You say that he went out to complete control. They want me to cook, but won't let me buy the ingredients.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that this year from now. He did a great job last year with who was already there, but the fact now he's got his guys he's more handpicked, and guys have been in the system before for a little while now. That helps.
Yeah, it's very Belichickian. Not very. I mean, but it goes back to walking that fine line.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to be the cook and you want to insist on buying the ingredients, those ingredients had better be quality.
Yeah, right.
Because if they're terrible, I think that's what really knocked Belichick off was when he started to, he demanded total control in getting his ingredients. Well, the ingredients stunk.
Right. Yeah.
So the on-field play, the production wasn't there for that. And so, yeah, it's why I think in part Ryan Day calls Patricia the head coach of the defense, why he calls Arthur Smith the head coach of the offense. We got Tyler Danburg for the Ohio State Sports Network coming up here in a couple minutes. I do want to hear, because Arthur Smith, for the first time, was made available to members of the media, and he kind of said something similar about having the right ingredients to do what he wants to do, but also understanding that he's coming in here having done none of the shopping. And he's also been in similar situations where, all right, who do we have? Okay, that's how we're going to tailor things. Because I can't look at you and go, well, you need to fit into this. Like the square peg can't fit into the round hole, because that's how you lose football games. And I think there's so much ego with, and kind of deservedly so, if you're at that kind of an apex in your sport, that it takes a lot for somebody to come off of, what I want to do isn't always going to be the best because I don't always have the best to do what I want to do. What I've got is what I've got. Who I'm playing is who I'm playing. I've got to make it work for them. That's how you make it work on the field. And I think so far so good for Ohio State, and very interested to see how Arthur Smith adds to what is the Ryan Day offense. Tyler Danburg in 2 minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
At ADP, we know you want your landscape business to succeed, but we don't know anything about landscaping. ADP only knows how to handle the business of your small business. So if ADP focuses on the payroll and the HR, while you focus on the land and the scaping, success should follow. Just don't expect us to know all about Kentucky bluegrass, zero-turn cutting, or what to do with a woodchuck. That's for you to figure out. Let ADP help your small business focus on the part of the business you're good at. ADP for small business.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money money and download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Yes, you are. Rieser, Tito, and Nate with you until noon. Last Saturday in March. Which it feels like it always just blows right by.
It does. Because of sports.
Pun kind of intended.
Yes.
Because this has been one of the wildest, windiest marches we've had in a while. And that's nothing I have any research on. It just feels like the weather has been the wackiest this month with the fluctuations in the temperature, with the wind blowing everywhere.
I don't do a lot of research when I say things either, though, so it's okay. I just kind of say it.
Someone who is an actual professional joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. That is Tyler Danburg of the Ohio State Sports Network. Tyler, thanks so much for the time this morning. I know that, with Ohio State, and you bring in the best, and Arthur Smith comes in as the new offensive coordinator. And just from what you heard of him this week, what was one of your biggest takeaways for Ohio State's new offensive coordinator and how he plans to work with this Ryan Day offense?
Well, first off, Eric, Tito, Nate, great to be with you guys. I think what I'm excited most to see from Arthur Smith is how he works with Julian Sayin. And Ryan Day was talking about it the last couple of weeks, but I think, everybody knows Arthur Smith for his ability to work with the ground game and his ability as an offensive lineman at heart to open things up on the ground and work with the run game. But I think that, Ryan Day said that Arthur Smith has spent a lot of time with different quarterbacks. And I think it was interesting to hear from Arthur Smith. I mean, he said it. He has spent time with more quarterbacks than a lot of his counterparts in the NFL. And from all different age groups. I mean, you look at all the guys that he's got to work with, everything from, a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers to now a 19-year-old and Julian Sayin, I think is going to be really interesting. I think that offensive coordinator / play caller to quarterback relationship is going to be key, and as it always is. But I'm really excited to see, after hearing what Arthur Smith had to say about Julian Sayin, about looking for what he wants to see out of him in terms of handling this offense. I'm really excited to see what these two can do together.
The offensive line seems to be in a better spot maybe it's been in years past. Do you feel the same way? Like, do you feel confident in where this offensive line's at right now?
I do, Tito, and I think the depth is something big. First off, they're returning everybody on the offensive line. I believe that they have the most snaps in the Power Four among returning offensive line units, but they're also deep. We'll start off with Sam Greer, the left tackle, coming from Archbishop Hoban. Size-wise, eye test-wise, he's getting there. He's ginormous. First off, he's 6'6", 6'7". In terms of true freshmen that get here in the winter, he is very very well off in terms of where he's at size-wise. And I remember Mark Pantoni in December said he could be the left tackle of the future here at Ohio State. But also another guy that is really impressed is Ian Moore. I think Luke Montgomery and Carson Hinsman this week were really singing his praises. I mean, this is a guy that was thrust into the left tackle spot back in, or right tackle against Purdue, making his first career start in his home state back in November. You look at when Austin Sareveld went down in the Cotton Bowl, and Ian Moore was thrown into the left tackle spot, and they marched right up the field in less than 10 plays to get that scoring drive going. They've got depth, and, they've got experience in terms of starting snaps, but also, too, guys like Ian Moore getting time like that in the Cotton Bowl, making already one career start, that's really good to have in the back pocket in case they need a guy like him.
Tyler Danburg, our guest. Tyler, you talk about the opportunities that are presented because of injuries in the offensive line with Bo Jackson and Isaiah West missing the spring because of shoulder procedures. Legend Bay has gotten there's been a lot of hype surrounding him coming to Columbus and the comparisons that he's generated. Do you expect him to, in his first year here, produce as much as what maybe we saw from Bo from a running back standpoint and from catching passes?
That's a great question, Eric, because I think it all comes down to necessity. And I think that you hit the nail on the head because of his athleticism and because of his versatility. There's a lot of expectations for Legend Bay. I mean, when your head coach calls you a poor man's Tyreek Hill before you step foot on campus, that certainly means that you are destined to do some great things. And I do think that he's got that versatility. I mean, Carlos Lachlan, the running backs coach, does a heck of a job in coaching these guys really hard, really wanting the best for them on the field and off the field. And I think that's really important. He's working exceptionally hard on Legend Day, and, he wants the best out of these guys. And I think that Legend is a guy who, whether it's on special teams, whether that's maybe lining up in the slot or lining up as a receiver, lining up in the backfield, depending on where they need him. He just seems like the type of guy that could certainly make an immediate impact in whatever they need him to do.
Tyler, a little peek behind the curtain here. Every time someone we're interviewing says great question, the host who asks the said great question usually gives himself a pat on the back or something. You can see it on the YouTube thing. Rieser admits that was only a good question, not a great question. Just be careful throwing around great question to people because we do take it seriously here. Just a little fresh little tip there.
He's allowed to think the question was great. Just behind the scenes. Now that you've already done this, I was like, it was a good question.
It was a good question. Yeah, just be careful in throwing that around, though.
Tyler, thank you. The $20 will be on your desk on Monday.
That's exactly what I think, because I think it was just a good question. Good question,
that's
best.
A great point, Tito.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was a great point.
You're wonderful, Tito.
That's great. Tyler, how important is it to get Tavion St. Clair some snaps in games early on against, in the non-conference, non-Texas games?
I think it is really important. I think just seeing the field on a game day, seeing an opposing defense in a real game scenario, regardless of the score, is really huge. I mean, you look at even Julian Sand getting out there in his first year behind Will Howard. I mean, even his ability to have that opportunity to throw a 58-yard touchdown pass to Bennett Christian against Western Michigan in a prime time 7 o'clock slot, even though at that point it was probably about 9:30, 9:45. I think that is really important for guys, especially too, if you do well, you get that confidence. And Ryan Day said back in January on his radio show, this is going to be a big off season and a big year for Tavion St. Clair. And, the more he can get some snaps, the more he can feel comfortable. And I hoping for him that's exactly what the Bell Fountain native will get to do come fall. But I think you look at it down the line, regardless of whether it's a quarterback or a wide receiver or anybody on the defensive side of the ball, I think it is really, really important for those guys to just get out on the field and play a little bit just to see what going up against somebody that isn't wearing a silver helmet and a scarlet and gray jersey, that can do wonders for you.
Tyler Danburg, our guest on the Ohio State Sports Network, courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Also with his Ohio State football sideline reporting duties, he's the play-by-play voice of Ohio State women's basketball. And Tyler, a disappointing end of the season for Kevin McGuff and company, bowing out for the third straight year before you're able to host a second-round game on home court. What do you think was the first, if not was, but is the first priority for Kevin McGuff for next year in terms of roster or recruiting? What for you is he's got to get this done now?
Well, they've got a really, really good core coming back, and you don't lose too much in personnel numbers-wise. However, you do lose two players that mean a good deal to the team. We'll start off with Chance Gray. Her and Tiana Todd are out of eligibility. They're seniors. They're going to go on to do great things. I mean, Chance Gray, you could chalk her up as one of, if not the heart and soul of the team, just a leader on the court and off. She bridged the gap between the upperclassmen and the underclassmen and made everybody in that locker room feel special and feel great. Just a leader on the floor and off the floor, and I think she took a really big step this year. And then Tiana Todd, I mean, she came in for her three-point shooting prowess and got off to a bit of a slow start, had some really good games. And then defensively, I think she showed a lot of defensive maturity as the year went on. You know, she just became another player that McGuff and staff could use to handle some of the top assignments in the backcourt, and I think that was really big. But in terms of what they're going to need to approach this year, I think it's replacing those two. I think trying to find maybe there might not be somebody exactly like a Chance Gray and what she brought to the program, but I think if you go to the portal and you try to find somebody that can almost closely replicate what she did, especially on the floor, and the leadership capabilities will come with that. But we've seen, I mean, in the past, when Kevin McGuff has had his best teams, I think they've had a reliance on their core contingent of returning players, which they're going to have in Jelani and Kennedy Cambridge, and they're going to have in Ava Watson, and they're going to have in Elsa Lemila. But also, too, they've gone out and they've splashed in the portal by getting that 1 3-point shooting experienced guard, players like Taylor Mikesell and players like Chance Gray and Tiana Todd. And I think if they continue to rely on that and they really hit a home run in the portal with somebody that can be that final starter to the starting five, because they're going to be returning 4 starters, they're going to be on a really good track for 2026-27.
I know Ohio State lost Cody McMahon last year after the season. She went on to Ole Miss. They also got eliminated, I believe, the second round of the tournament there. Is there any fear, you think, or concern of Ohio State losing any of these key players to a transfer?
I don't know. You know, that's a great question. I know Kennedy Cambridge last week, or earlier this week, I should say, she was asked by reporters about next year, and she said she's coming back. And right then and there, when your defensive stalwart, one of the best defenders in the country, says that she's coming back, that's going to be big. And you know, I think too, you know, if Kennedy comes back, you know, I think that you can get a lot of players, you know, staying put. I don't know what the rest of them have in store, but I mean, you look at what Jelani Cambridge can come back and do in year 3 and then year 4 at Ohio State, having another year with her sister would do wonders. And I mean, obviously, I think she showed on Monday 41 points, tying a career high, that she's one of the best guards in the country without an absolute doubt. So I don't know if there's much concern. Maybe it's too early to tell, just 4 or 5 days removed from the loss. But if Kennedy Cambridge comes out and says that she's staying put, that is really big for the program.
Fantastic stuff. Tyler Danburg of the Ohio State Sports Network. And I mean it when I say this. Great having you on.
Might have been the greatest guest.
One of. Up there, certainly. Tyler, thanks so much for the time, bud. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy your weekend.
Guys, have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
And we'll have him on next week because he's great.
He's great.
You're great.
You're great too, Reese.
Well, I'm talking to the listeners, not youth at all.
Oh, sorry.
Hear from the great
take it back, then.
Ryan Day coming up next. Bishop Sports Saturday on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, you know how we remind people not to be a sump pump grump this time of year?
I sure do. If people's sump pumps aren't pumpy, they sure can get grumpy.
And down in the dumpy.
But our $89 sump pump inspection can replace all that sump pump grumpiness with happiness.
Even if it doesn't rhyme.
Get Eco.
ECO. Our expert sump pump plumbers will make sure your sump pump is working to spec and ready to pump. We'll even do a camera inspection of your downspout drainage system to make sure there aren't any backups causing problems down the line.
And turn your sump pump grump into a flow-it-all, know-it-all.
Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, I'm starting to think not everything we do has to rhyme.
But rhymes help people remember things they like, Aaron. I mean, you like hokey pokey, don't you?
I do like the hokey pokey.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and sump pump technicians.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $365 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hey there, friends. Bill Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co. It's well known High Bank is my go-to when I want an award-winning whiskey, but did you also know that they make the best vodka in America? They have 3 incredible spots here in Central Ohio where the food is just as good as what's in the glass. They've got something for everyone. And get this, kids eat half off every Monday. So whether you're sipping on the best vodka in America or simply grabbing a meal with family and friends, High Bank delivers every time. Find a location and a menu at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
It's a new month and a new reason to visit Germain Honda of Dublin. Right now, take advantage of great low rates on select certified pre-owned models all month long. You'll get the reliability you trust, the value you want, and payments that make sense. And the wait is over. The all-new Honda Prelude has arrived with precision suspension and responsive hybrid performance. Great rates, awesome vehicles. Only at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, or online at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
It's never a bad time to fire up the grill. At Billiards Plus, the grilling season never ends. While you're grill shopping, you'll love browsing Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% plus no payments for 90 days on select new Kia Sorrentos, Sportages, and Tellurides. Or buy a new 2026 Kia K4 for $279 a month. Visit CoglanKia.com.
0% APR available for 48 months on select in-stock units. 90-day deferred payments. 5 for $279 per month for 84 months at 5.99% APR with approved credit through Kia Finance. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/26.
Start your morning knowing anything is possible. Because if these guys are hosting a radio show, imagine the possibilities. T-Bone and Tybus.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Your home for football, food, and fun. The Fan.
Your mornings are jam-packed. So if you're going to add anything, make it your favorite bite from Tim Hortons. Buy any size beverage and add a daily baked donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. It's the best way to add more to your morning. The 1, 2, 3 menu, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra. Exclusions and terms apply at timhortons.com/offer-terms.
Spring is hatching at the Columbus Zoo. Join us April 3rd and 4th for Eggs, Paws, and Claws. Snap a pic with the Easter Bunny, meet Egbert, roll into Shelley's Shellebration, and crack the clues in the Explore and Find. It's 2 extra fun days you won't want to miss. Get your discounted tickets at Kroger.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. We firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
I'd say it's good to tailgate now.
Why not?
You got the Blue Jackets at 5 o'clock.
Sure.
And the San Jose Sharks at Nationwide at First Responders Night. We'll have pregame coverage on the Fan at 4 o'clock. Dylan Tyrer is going to be doing a half hour early tonight, and then tomorrow against the Boston Bruins. Same time, the puck drops, 5 o'clock at Nationwide, 4 o'clock for pregame coverage right here on the Fan. It's not going to be in Columbus, but the Aviators have landed in Orlando for their UFL maiden voyage against the Orlando Storm. Now, the Aviators are coached by Ted Ginn Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know that name. They have a Sain on their roster. It's Aiden Sain, Julian's brother. I don't know if he's their starting quarterback, but one of their backups, certainly.
Yep.
And they'll play tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and that's a game you can see on ESPN. Then the Aviators are back in Columbus against the, I want to say it's the DC Defenders next Friday at 8 o'clock, Historic Crew Stadium. That game's on Fox.
Wow.
So they're going to be all over the place this season. ESPN, NFL Network, FS1. There's an ABC game, I think, coming down the pipe. We love spring, and we've been saying it forever. If you're going to do a football league in Columbus, not the NFL, not college football, you need to make it Buckeyes.
You do, yeah.
Having Ted Ginn as your head coach, having Cardale Jones as one of your ambassadors, certainly the right way to do this. The UFL's just more football, and it's interesting. So I think over the first couple of weeks, you'll certainly get a lot of buy-in. I think they already had a game. I'm seeing here the Birmingham Stallions beat the Louisville Kings last night, 15-13. Maybe you want to bump up the scoring on that.
And they're doing what they can to bump up the scoring based on some of these rules they have that are different than NFL. They got the 4-point field goal in there.
I like that.
Get Brandon Aubrey out there, see what he can do. 60 yards.
Plus.
Yeah. You can't punt inside the opponent's 50.
Good.
I like that too. They also have, after you score a touchdown, there's 3 different ways you can get points. There's a 1-point conversion, which would be a 33-yard field goal.
Okay.
2-point conversion, ball at the 2-yard line, or go for 3 with the ball placed at the 8-yard line. So you're talking about if you get a 4-point field goal and a touchdown and a 3-point conversion, you have 13 points right there with only scoring 1 touchdown and 1 other score.
Let's start doing like 42-35.
That's what you need
for scores there. But we'll see the Aviators in Columbus next Friday, but Sunday at 8 o'clock on ESPN is where you get to watch their first game against the Orlando Storm. DJ Khaled's doing the halftime performance.
Okay.
I know Gavin DeGraw is going to be the halftime act for next Friday's festivities at Historic Crew Stadium. I know that when the St. Louis Battlehawks have their first game, Nelly is going to be the halftime act there.
Hope it doesn't get hot in there.
You want to make it the spectacle, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a football game, but it's a party around a football game. I think the Clippers are back at Huntington Park on Tuesday, Diamond Dog Night against the Indianapolis Indians.
Look out.
Spring, folks. It all, of course, in Central Ohio leads up to the annual spring game. Like, that's for us. And by us, I mean the royal us, like the official welcome to spring. Welcome to it being warm. Welcome to put your pants and your heavy winter coat away. April 18th, noon for that. Buckeyes held their pro day on Wednesday. You had representatives from every single NFL team in attendance. Buckeyes probably have 5 first-round picks. 4 of those could be in the top 10. Here's Ryan Day after that talking about just the number of projected first-rounders and how that says that this program very healthy.
Well, you're going to have to check our math on this, but Mick and I just did this, and I think we're just under 20 guys in the last 7 or 8 years that we've had here that have been come on after 3 years. And that, to me, speaks a lot about the development here. And so, Sonny reclassified, but, you talk about Carnell, you talk about Caleb, you talk about Arvell, you talk about Caden. But those guys, are all juniors. So for them to be ready to where they are right now in 3 years, again, says a lot about, what we do. And this is a big part of what we sell. When you talk about the expectations of being at Ohio State, what comes with this, playing in front of the big lights, the fact that we're held to a very high standard here in how we do things, and we're the face of the university, that translates really well to the NFL. We have just under 12 million fans here, and so there's a lot that comes with that. And these guys understand that, and again, held to a high standard, so they understand what that's like, being in an NFL-type city. So I think it's easy for organizations to look at our guys and project what they're going to look like going on, to their teams. But it's also the schemes that we're both, on offense and defense, NFL schemes. And so, we have coaches who have coached in college and in the NFL. So when these folks come in and talk to our guys, it's easy to say, all right, how do you see him playing? Well, he reminds me of so-and-so. Or remember, when we used to do this, he can do this in this type of scheme. And so that's what folks are looking for guys who understand the scheme that can play in year one, especially with a first-round pick, but also guys that can be the face of the organization.
32 franchises in the NFL. I think it's safe that Ohio State's probably on the next rung in terms of being a professional football operation.
Yes. The way they do things and how efficient they are, and just the way they bring in former NFL head coaches to be coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's a step back, but it is a rehab assignment for some of these guys. As far as rehab their reputation get to the next level.
Absolutely.
I mean, it benefited Jim. It benefited Jim Knowles, I guess, that much. He got fired after 1 year.
Chip Kelly certainly
lined his pocketbooks. Yep, he was. Yep, and so it's you don't see coordinators from Ohio State go backwards normally. Hartline goes to a head coaching job. Knowles, I guess Knowles went sideways, I would say, not backwards, went to Penn State. But
Knowles got a bigger paycheck.
Yes.
Certainly from Penn State. I'm not sure exactly if he's making any more than he did at Tennessee than he did at Ohio State, but this certainly, if you want to take a step up, if you want to scrub your image, it's very Nick Saban-like, where he had guys come into the program with not the greatest image in the world or having had several stops previously that weren't great, didn't turn out well, results weren't there. And then coming out of that car wash, they're appealing to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's Matt Patricia will be here for a couple more years. It's TBD on Arthur Smith, but certainly if things go well this year, he'll be one of those names thrown around when they have the NFL's coaching carousel coming up in January. You'll hear from Ohio State's offensive coordinator coming up next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Columbus, are you hungry? Well, it's a good thing Uber Eats has the best deals at all your favorite local restaurants. Like this great deal at El Vaquero. From now until March 31st, you can get a buy one, get one free quesadilla deal, all on the Uber Eats app. That's good for me, but I need to figure out what everybody else is going to eat. So next time you're craving a great meal, don't overthink it. Just get on the Uber Eats app and save big with a great deal. Order now only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
Oakland Nursery has been keeping Central Ohio green for 86 years, but they've had some help. The greenest lawns around start with the Andersons 4-application lawn program, now on sale for $69.99. Oakland's best DIY program covers 5,000 square feet. The Andersons 4-application program is available exclusively in Central Ohio at Oakland. Plus, buy now and get a 15-pound bag of fortified season-long grub control, usually $22.99, now just $10 a bag with purchase. That's over a 50% savings only at Oakland.
The Reds are on the radio.
And he caught it! No way! What a grab! Noelvi Marte! Ellie De La Cruz is on his horse, and they're waving him to the house. Suarez swings, he drives this. It is gone! Eugenio Suarez puts the Reds on top.
The quest for October baseball is underway. Hear all the action all season long on your home of the Reds.
Things people don't believe in. Little green aliens. Bigfoot. And that Spectrum TV combines all your favorite streaming apps with live TV at no extra cost. But that one is actually true. You get over $100 worth of streaming apps like HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, AMC Plus, and more, included with live TV at no extra cost. It's only the way TV should be. It's only everything. Learn more at SpectrumTV.com.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win, like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later.
Sound familiar, Dale?
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Spring weather is unpredictable. You never know which way you'll be adjusting your thermostat unless you have the right windows. With Window Nation, you can count on your home being comfortable regardless of the weather. Their windows are customizable and energy efficient. Expert installations take just 1 day, and Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. There's no better time to upgrade with Window Nation. In March, the more you buy, the more you could save, up to 50% off all window styles and 0% interest for 60 months. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation today.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Nate Puterbaugh, the Sports Update. The Final Four will feature at least one team from the Big Ten. The Elite Eight is all set. Illinois and Iowa are set to square off tonight at 6 o'clock with Arizona and Purdue in the late game. Tomorrow sees Michigan face off with Tennessee and Duke and UConn wrapping up the weekend. The CBJ look to get back on track after dropping 2 out of 3 on the road. They've got back-to-back games out at Nationwide this weekend. They square off with the Sharks at 5. Catch extended pregame coverage here on The Fan starting at 4. The Cincinnati Reds will continue their series with the Red Sox today. First pitch comes your way at 4:10 with Brady Singer squaring off with Sonny Gray. We'll have all the action over on the Fan, too. And the Guardians look to bounce back from a 5-1 loss to the Mariners last night out in Seattle. Joey Cantillo takes a mound against Brian Wu. First pitch is tonight at 9:40. And the Cleveland Cavaliers knocked off the Miami Heat last night, 149-128. They return to the court Monday night, taking on the Jazz. Breaking sports news weapons in the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
You know, Tito, when you start a show as off the rails as we did, at like 8:50, you might have cracked yours at 8:45. Hard to kind of recalibrate and get back on the rails.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll try our best to do that this hour, but recalibrating takes a lot, and we are men of little brain power.
Fair.
Well, thank you for joining us on a Saturday. Thanks to Dylan Tyrer, who you heard in the 9 o'clock hour. Thanks to Tyler Danburg, who you heard in the 10 o'clock hour. If you missed anything from this wonderful, spectacular, tremendous program that we've done, it's available on YouTube at WBNS Radio. There's a podcast that shoots out, or that's scheduled to shoot out when we are done. So if that is something, you're a podcasting person, wherever you get your podcasts, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review, if not for Tito.
That'd be great.
And his desire to buy a golf cart, because he's got to rent them every single year. And now let's get you in a situation where, as an Upper Arlington resident, you can have your own golf cart.
Yeah, that's the goal right there, because you see, there's a lot of really, really nice ones driving around.
Yeah, in the Tri-Village area, so even Marble Cliff and in Grandview.
Can you do it there too?
Yeah.
They
don't
golf
have
cart friendly
rules at this point. I think in like every suburb. Like I do want to ask that if you're located in a different suburb, like Hilliard or Dublin or Westerville. I think Westerville allows them.
Do they?
Bexley, Grove City.
Yeah.
If you can get it, you can drive it around as long as it's. Even it used to be as long as it's street legal, but who's are we enforcing?
Oh, it gets enforced in UA, I think it does. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to have the license plate on it. You got to have
That's good.
Side mirrors,
lights,
side mirrors, and also a rear view mirror. You have things like that in there. Yes.
Because what are rules without proper enforcement? Tell the NCAA.
Tell LSU that.
I did want. That's a good job out of you.
Thank you.
They spent over $200 million in the last 6 months on their men's basketball team and their men's football team. That's it. Just those two sports.
Whatever.
$200 million. I think Will Wade's getting a $4 million contract, or at least a 1-year deal this year, $4 million to be the new head coach at LSU. They'll probably introduce him sometime this week, and it'll probably be hilarious.
Yes, it probably will be. Did you see the LSU? There's an attorney for LSU, or not LSU, a Louisiana attorney wants to have. This is an article in Athletic. I think I'm trying to think what the guy who wrote it was. Now I can tell you in just a second. Anyway, the article in Athletic talked about was by Matt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Said that the Athletic has requested payrolls and budgets for more than 70 schools since it became legal to pay players on July 1st last year.
Yeah.
They wanted records on what players are being paid. And he thought, this attorney said, we need to know what we're getting for our investment. And they requested payrolls, budgets, more than 70 schools. Only one gave a payroll to them. That was James Madison, but it was with redacted names. So it showed all the salaries for the players, but no names attached to them.
Okay.
7 gave sport-by-sport breakdowns. For instance, football players got $1.5 million from San Diego State total. NC State's was $13.5 million. They were also told that UConn spent $11.6 million among their 536 athletes from July 1st to the end of the year. And what was the other one? It had something about, they did find out that the Houston's men's basketball program spent $504,000 on food expenses. North Carolina football spent $2.6 million on recruiting. The database you see from most schools says, like a janitor at UMass, you can find out there's a janitor at UMass that makes $44,000, or a surgery professor at Florida makes $1.35 million. But all these schools are withholding. They're denying it. Denying providing, even though some of their public schools, what the payroll is, what players are being paid.
I think it was Joey Aguilar, the quarterback at Tennessee. His case to extend his eligibility was that I'm going to lose out on $2 to $4 million.
Right.
And the judge said, you got to prove that.
Yeah.
And he didn't, because he couldn't, because none of this is transparent. Like, it's hilarious to me that some of these schools are janitorial expense.
Well, you can find online. Just you go look at it. If you go look online at different things for the schools, you can see this stuff.
I know you can submit a Freedom of Information request.
Right.
I don't think schools are the most transparent. Even with that, so much stuff gets redacted. I mean, it's the conversation we have all the time about what are schools saying they're spending. You know, and I know that Ross and company over at Ohio State want to so badly make this all an open book.
Yeah.
Right. They have the cap. They want everybody to kind of follow.
Yeah.
And it's just never going to be the case. I think my argument always with how to get actionable change in college athletics needs to come from the coaches.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to, in the Big Ten, be a Ryan Day, and we think Kurt Cignetti are all playing by established rules, how could you try to be playing in the same sandbox that a Lane Kiffin is playing in? Or even on the basketball side with Jake Diebler, and we think he's doing everything above board. But when you go in the South, there's Will Wade and there's Nate Oates. Because you saw the news with Aiden Holloway, where he was allowed to travel out of state. And you think, well, if Alabama was able to shoot as well in the second half as they did in the first half against Michigan, maybe Alabama's, in fact, playing for a trip to the Final Four tomorrow. And maybe Aiden Holloway's playing because he was allowed to leave the state, despite being caught with 2 pounds of marijuana.
South Carolina's AD said that Jeremiah Donati's his name. He said if Alabama knew the Gamecocks football payroll was a hypothetical $17 million, the Crimson Tide would spend $17 million in one. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Alabama cares what South Carolina spends. I don't think it would affect what Alabama spends.
More Georgia.
I would say something more like that, yeah. But that's his point. There's likely if we let our rivals know what we're spending and what our budget is, that's giving them an advantage. Or if you have a school that doesn't have to do it because it's a private institution and they have access to a public school's what their payroll is, their budget, then that could be used against them.
There's so much nonsense.
I know.
And when I think about, Ryan Day and the job that he's got to do as the CEO of the football program, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And, Mark Pantoni being the general manager. And I know there's, news from Letterman Row about Jake Diebler. And one of the things he's really trying to do this offseason is to hire a general manager for basketball to deal with all of that you had mentioned. And, back to Arthur Smith, who's the Ohio State's new offensive coordinator. He's not one of the 10 coaches that are recruiting because I firmly believe Arthur Smith came to Ohio State to coach ball.
Yeah.
Not interested in recruiting, not interested in salaries, not interested in anything else but just coaching X's and O's. So when Smith was made available this week, one of the first questions was why? Why Ohio State?
The respect I have for Coach Day when he reached out and we had a good conversation and came down here and spent some time with him and just kind of weighed my options. And I'd had such a good experience with some of the players that have come through here that I've gotten the privilege to coach. So I was intrigued, kind of weighed my options and talked to a lot of people, including Mike Vrabel, who's a great Buckeye, who's a great friend of mine, and it just made sense.
So it's interesting, as offensive coordinator of the Steelers, and when they make their coaching changes, Mike Tomlin steps down, you probably thought, well, Arthur would just find someplace else in the NFL to go to, but it does feel like Ryan reached out to him.
Yeah.
Trying to do the same thing and find similar success he did with Chip Kelly, of a guy who runs an NFL offense, who knows how an NFL operation is handled and knows just how week to week you're dealing with just everything's different. And even from, an on-field standpoint, but to have kind of the flexibility of, hey, these are who I've got to work with. Here's how I'm going to work week to week based off of what the defense is giving me, less so on, here's my offensive system, this is how I'm running it, I'm not changing for anybody.
Yeah, it's going to be. I love the thing he said about why he came here, and about the fact that Day. The respect for Ryan Day. It's just continues to add to the brilliance of Ryan Day's the way he's running the program. He keeps hitting home runs, and I know last season ended in a way that Ohio State fans didn't want it to.
Yeah,
but the national championship the year before that, a great team coming up this year, you would think, and a tougher schedule, but. The Big Ten has proven it's superior now in football, at least the last couple years.
Even in basketball.
I would say, and now it might, with the way they're doing basketball, it might be the case also. Although, I would say it's Big 12 deeper. I don't know. But the more I look
certainly the argument can be made that the two deepest are the Big 12 and the Big 10.
Yes.
In terms of basketball, yes.
Yeah.
And in football, you think that Kyle Whittingham's going to get Michigan back in shape.
Yeah.
You think that Penn State, maybe in a year or two, could return to some semblance of glory.
Yeah.
Certainly they've won a bunch of games. They won a bunch of games with James Franklin. They just couldn't get over the hump of any actual team with a number next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's something that Matt Campbell can do.
Yeah.
Certainly you wonder, and maybe even you hope, because I think that if all the ships are, the tide that raises all the ships, it needs to stop being just Ohio State. Because then it also gets Fox off you for big noon obligations.
I meant to ask you something before we were talking, because you talked about your lack of faith in Matt Painter.
Yes, but I think that's dwindling.
Okay, who do you have more? I'm sorry. Who do you have less faith in? Let's say more lack of faith, but less faith just
more
sounds
lack
cleaner.
of faith's better.
Who do you have more lack or faith in? Matt Painter or James Franklin?
My faith lacks more in Matt Painter.
Really?
Yeah, he won, got beat by a 16.
I understand that. Penn State lost to a winless UCLA team last year.
Yeah, but that's when everything went to hell.
I know, but even though Matt Painter's beaten, he has more opportunities every year with the schedule.
It's a good question.
You get more opportunities to beat really good teams. With James Franklin, you only had like one crack at Ohio State every year. One crack at quack. You did it to me now.
Quack.
One
it's
quack.
Just a quacky day.
I should have said one quack at Oregon. That would be even better.
Yeah, that was really good.
Which was intentional. But nonetheless, you only get one crack at those teams where you can finally win a game against a top 5 team. Whereas Painter every year gets multiple opportunities to play against teams ranked in the top 10.
All right, the death ray is on planet Earth, and you've got to pick one coach to save it. Matt Painter or James Franklin.
Matt Painter.
So I'm still going to go Matt Painter.
So am I.
So, and again, Franklin's got a much easier job now because the ACC is more winnable, and he's a great recruiter.
Yeah.
So less work for him, but some money. So, you never really have to hear from you're never going to hear from James Franklin again, because if Virginia's winning the ACC and not making the college football playoff, like who cared? Who honestly cares about that conference outside of Miami?
Or Virginia Tech.
Right. Arthur was asked, is there such a thing as too much Jeremiah Smith?
Question.
No. I mean, I got asked that if I gave the ball too many times to Derrick Henry, and I'd argue that I didn't. I mean, Derrick, I think, carried the ball more than anybody in the postseason run in 19. Seen him on film and heard a lot about him, but getting to know him, I'm just really impressed with his mindset. I mean, he doesn't feel like you're dealing with a college player. He feels like a veteran to me. What I appreciate about him is he's got great humility for somebody that's that talented and has had the success he's had. You understand that he's a unique weapon, but he's a great person. I've enjoyed my conversation with him and just trying to help him expand his game, because I think the potential is limitless.
Yeah, I know Julian's the quarterback, but Jeremiah is the focal point. Jeremiah should always be the focal point of an Ohio State offense. And what Jeremiah saw from the NFL this week should make him a very, very happy camper for what's to come on Sundays for him. We'll discuss that next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Columbus has a new football team, the Aviators. UFL football lands April 3rd. Be there for our home opener at historic Crew Stadium. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now at UFLaviators.com. That's UFLaviators.com. United, we fly.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
If you love shopping for one-of-a-kind treasures in home decor, home and garden accents, and more, visit Oakland Nursery Specialty Stores, Oakland's home store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany. Unique only begins to tell this story. 2 fabulous stores specializing in eclectic home decor and art. Through innovation and passion, Oakland Nursery has created these 2 unmatched shopping experiences. Find inspiration for your home at Oakland's home store in Dublin and Inside and Out in New Albany.
Spring is hatching at the Columbus Zoo. Join us April 3rd and 4th for Eggs, Paws, and Claws. Snap a pic with the Easter Bunny, meet Egbert, roll into Shelley's Celebration, and crack the clues in the Eggsplore and Find. It's 2 extra fun days you won't want to miss. Get your discounted tickets at Kroger.
It's Common Man and Timmy for our friends at Hollywood Casino.
Oh, it's a big month, Common Man.
Why?
Because there's lots of basketball to watch and lots of cash to win.
That's right. If you're watching hoops, you can reserve your spot at HollywoodColumbus.com. And some of the packages come with $300 in dining credits.
And this month you could win $1 million instantly. That's your final answer. Plus, there's multiple ways to score big cash prizes weekly.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Hey, basketball.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on your Easter ham. Kroger bone-in hickory smoked honey glazed spiral ham is on sale now, just 85 cents a pound with your card. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Take your shot to save at Great Lakes Hyundai. Shoot the hoop to get extra savings on your new car purchase. On top of big shot savings like 0% financing on 26 Hyundai Santa Fe's and Tucson's for up to 5 years. Plus, make no payments for 90 days. It's the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With Proof Credit, some customers may not qualify. Interest accrues during no payment period. New Hyundais come equipped with owner assurance and America's Best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Offer ends 3/31.
Join the fan weeknights at 6 for the Buckeye Show. And if you're asking if it's just a bunch of homers rooting for all things Ohio State, yes it is. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Remember what sunshine feels like? Windows open, birds chirping, everything looking fresh and new. Spring is closer than you think, and so are those home projects on your to-do list. Maybe winter left its mark. A small leak that's getting bigger, shingles that didn't survive the snowstorms, or siding that's clearly seen better days. Whatever your home is facing, our team of professionals at Newman Roofing are here to help. For more than 34 years, Newman Roofing has been helping homeowners protect what matters most. From your first phone call, you'll notice the difference. Passionate and committed people who care about doing the job right. And with over 1,000 five-star Google reviews, you don't have to take our word for it. If your roof, siding, or gutters need attention, call the family company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof this spring, get a Newman roof.
The madness is on and the deals are going full court at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Drive home the Powerhouse 2026 Tundra at 2.99% APR for up to 72 months and $1,000 Toyota financial cash. That's a slam dunk offer. Or you can drive home in the always reliable 2026 Camry LE for just $269 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year, and $36.99 due at signing. Don't sit on the sidelines. Hustle into Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We have a lot of sunshine around today. Highs are a little cool, though, in the upper 40s. Another chilly night ahead, too, as we head into the overnight. Overnight lows will drop to about 30. Get ready on Sunday, although more clouds around, still some sunshine with warmer temperatures with highs right around 60. I'm meteorologist Melissa Mack with your 10 weather impact forecast.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Tito, you're going to have to let me know how this analogy hits.
Okay.
Well, Ohio State's Pro Day this past Wednesday, you had the main event, and the 4 Buckeyes and the 17 Buckeyes that were working out for NFL scouts and talent evaluators. You had Arvell, Sonny, Caleb Carnell, Caden Curry. You even had Mike Tomczak's nephew,
from
Youngstown State, receiver, Tavian St. Clair out there. I would consider that the main event and maybe one of like the preliminary fights or like one of the preliminary things on the card being Jeremiah Smith and Julian Same. Because so many, like Giants head coach John Harbaugh was in attendance. Aaron Glenn was in attendance. Like so many of these guys, of course, looking for things in 2026, but then you know what's to come, or you know what's on the horizon in 2027. A Julian Sane available at quarterback, a Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
While he didn't work out, and I do think a lot of that was, well, let's hear from Jeremiah. Tim May caught up with him and asked him about not participating in pro day workouts.
I
I would love to. I chose not to for a reason. I don't want to say a reason why, but I chose not to go out there today. But,
Jeremy, does it help though that you know how many of these people are going to be watching you next year? You have to bring your A game on a day like this. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not. I mean, you definitely got to bring everything that you got. This where you're making money at, and you got to perform at a very high level on the pro day and combine and things like that. So yeah.
Tito, is it fair to recklessly speculate that Jeremiah didn't work out because, well, one, he doesn't have to, but two, to take attention away from everybody else that was working out that will be drafted coming up in April?
I think that's fair. I do, because Carnell Tate deserved to be the best receiver out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're out there just evaluating Carnell Tate, then, against whatever, I don't know anybody else was out there, but if you're against other guys you've seen, that's fine. If that's how you're going to evaluate Carnell Tate deserves to be in the spotlight there. If Jeremiah Smith goes out and does incredible things, no matter how good Carnell Tate is, he's second. Like, it could be, and that's, I'm saying, if Jeremiah Smith goes out and just shines, Carnell, yeah, he's good, but man, see Jeremiah Smith? See what he did? Even though Carnell Tate may have a perfect day. So I think just aesthetically, it makes sense for him not to work out.
You're familiar with that meme of the couple walking, guys holding hands with his girlfriend, and he looks back at the other girl walking past them?
Right.
That's kind of what I thought with this.
That's a good way to look. That's a great one.
Because I think Carnell will go I want him to go at 6 to the Cleveland Browns. I think he's the best wide receiver in this draft. I think it doesn't.
You want him to go to Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. Feels like that's where players go to die.
Well, you're not wrong in that instance.
So we're
but
throwing to him. That's fine.
I can't sit here and say, well, I just don't want the Browns to draft anybody then.
They should pass.
They should skip the draft.
Pass, yeah.
That's how you would, I'm sure, as a Steelers fan, former Browns fan, would love if that would be the situation for Cleveland. At 6 and 24, you take Carnell and you take the best offensive tackle available at 24.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Unless you're able to secure another first-round pick.
You mean you trade out of 6 for another first round?
No. You stay at 6.
Oh,
but
24.
Someone gives you their first round
I got
pick.
you. Yes, then, yeah.
Because maybe you've moved an asset.
Oh.
We are like 25 days away, I think. April 23rd is the first round of the NFL draft. And so earlier in the week, Myles Garrett had language in his contract changed to allow cap flexibility in future seasons and to allow his bonus to be paid in September as opposed to April.
Right.
There are so many people who cover the league on a daily basis that are smarter than me, and so many of them said this could make it easier for a team to ask the Browns for a trade, right? To say, all right, well, now you've made the number easier to take. You've made the guarantees. You've made what's owed to him. You've made it more flexible for everybody, not just the Browns, but other teams if they want to take on that contract.
Right.
Could a trade be on the horizon? Adam Schefter joined the Pat McAfee show, and he said the Browns told him they are 100% not trading Myles Garrett. But it goes back to, Tito, what we talked about earlier in the program, and that was their stance Thursday, maybe Friday. Could be their stance still. But if the Baltimore Ravens were to call, ring, 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 Andrew Berry, hey, it's your old pal, Sashi Brown. We still got that Max Crosby offer, but we want Myles Garrett. We'll give you 14. We'll give you our first next year. We'll throw in a third-round pick for a sweetener. You send us Myles. As a Browns fan, I will tell you right now, they absolutely take that deal. They should. They probably won't because, you can't make your division rival better. Baloney.
Here's the thing Schefter also said that the restructure was done to give the Browns more cap flexibility. That's what the Browns are saying.
In future seasons, yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, that's why they did it. But Michael Giannetti, the guy from Sport Track, he came out, he refuted that and said that the restructuring didn't create any additional salary cap space.
Not this year.
Right, but it makes it easier to trade. And the fact that the Browns are one of the teams who proposed, or the team that proposed, being able to trade picks up to 5 years in advance versus a current rule of 3.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So they also did that. So they've said, hey, let's go 5 years out. And by the way, we're going to restructure Garrett's contract. I'm going to trade him. But now all of a sudden, if you tell the Browns, if they wait till June 1st to make the deal, and it's other years going forward where they get assets.
Yeah, 3 first-round picks.
Right. Like wait till after the draft. You could do it June 1st. I think that changes what the cap hit would be. Or how the penalties, I think. I'm not sure. I'm speaking just off the top of my head there.
And who's to say Cleveland, because I do think they keep Myles going into the season.
Right.
Who's to say they don't do this again?
Yeah.
Right. Who's to say they don't restructure Miles' deal again to create some more cap space before the beginning, I should say, of the NFL season? What I'm thinking more so, and the Browns coming out and saying 100% we're not trading Myles Garrett has me thinking, well, yes, they're open to it if the right offer comes. Mm-hmm. But I think that would more so happen to the trade deadline. So you think in November 3rd, because the Browns aren't winning football games this season.
Right.
You went over their quarterback situation. It ain't great. And they have been great defensively. They haven't won a lot of football games with Myles Garrett.
Right.
So I don't understand from a football standpoint. You have a new coach. This would make it easier, I think, for the fan base because it gives this new regime, and I know Andrew Berry's still part of it, but you give Todd Monken a little bit more, you give him more ability to make a better team because you're not making a better team with Myles Garrett on it. And I know that's ridiculous to say, but I've got a track record that shows you the Browns aren't going anywhere with him. So I think you can start to mortgage a little bit more for your future. And I do think they did this move, not necessarily to trade Myles, to give them some cap flexibility to shift where they have to pay his bonus. That helps their front office out, but to leave the door open a little bit.
He's going to be 31 in December.
Uh-huh.
Now's the time to move on. Because, I mean, Browns are going to make the playoffs this year. Fair, Eric? Is that a bold statement there? Okay.
No.
Okay, how about the following season?
No.
Okay, so you're talking now a couple years from now, and now Garrett's going to be 32 going on 33.
Yep.
And at that point, his value is way down. I don't care how good he is. His value goes down every day now.
He's one of, if not the best defensive player in the league. He's the best defender the Browns have ever had. He's on a Mount Rushmore of Browns players. I have great appreciation for what he's done, but I think it would behoove Cleveland to think about the future of the organization. In the next 5 years, what do you have with Myles?
Right.
What are you going to be doing with him?
Yeah, right. So, and at that point, he'll probably be overpaid at that age. No matter how great you think he is right now. And yes, I agree. But we don't know that what he's going to be like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now. It's to me, it's akin to where the Browns, and I don't know who to blame for it, but the way that
you blame Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski for getting Deshaun Watson, and blame Jimmy Haslam for signing off on it, because that's put them worse in a worse spot than they would have been if they just been dumb on their own.
I was going to say that Joe Thomas never got to advance.
He chose.
I know. I think it was him.
They had a deal ready to send him to Denver, and I was sitting there. I remember thinking about it, going, he should absolutely play for the Broncos, and he decided to stay in Cleveland.
Hey, the biggest reason maybe to trade Myles Garrett though is to keep the roads safe.
He shouldn't be driving. He should have had his license taken away a while ago. I think the last one, he was only like 30 miles over the speed limit. So, at least he's coming down on his reckless driving. You're putting, it's like with Tiger, who's out on bail, but is facing, among other charges, DUI.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be driving, or he should be traded to Atlanta.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not just putting yourself in danger. You're putting others in serious harm.
Yeah.
And I have, again, great appreciation for Myles, what he's done in Cleveland. But it's time.
Yeah.
Especially if they want to open that sexy stadium in 2028. Like, this would, I think, help, because defensive players rarely sell the kind of tickets that offensive players do. Is that a hot take?
Yeah.
If you're trying to sell tickets to the Browns stadium, you want the face of the franchise to either be maybe a running back or a quarterback. Well, they don't have the quarterback in the room. They've got a bunch of guys that have no business really in terms of is this guy a franchise quarterback conversation. I think that with Monken, it's fair to not hold Deshaun against him. So I do think that's what, if they make a move, they just bring another quarterback into that room. And I was also making the joke that if someone does come to them with a 2 or 3 first rounders, maybe a second rounder before the draft for Garrett, you make it be, so you got to take Dylan Gabriel too.
Ooh. See, I don't know if teams would. Well, I guess they probably would. He's
you're getting Myles Garrett. You got a quarterback on a rookie deal.
He's a third-round pick. He's not that expensive.
I think that would just make the quarterback conversation a little easier. Yeah. Quarterback competition a little easier for Monken. Again, he signed the contract to be the head coach of the Browns. I don't envy what he's got to deal with. I don't hold Deshaun against him. I don't hold Shedeur against him. I don't hold Dylan Gabriel against him. I think Gabriel's really only sensible of the 3 for being in that room.
Yeah.
But that's why I also think to Carnell at 6, because it gives one of those quarterbacks a better opportunity to fully evaluate their skills. And a lineman would help, because they've done, I think, a great job in the offseason of rebuilding that offensive line. So they take best tackle at 24, they take Carnell at 6, then I think you're giving your quarterback the best option to see, is this guy suitable or viable for the future?
Then go out and sign Anthony Richardson, making the starting quarterback.
Well, that'd be a thing. You know, Joe Flacco was available until he wasn't.
Flacco made a ballsy statement,
Joe
too.
Flacco, it's good to want things. You'll hear from him next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I talk to you about Weed Man every year. Why? Simple. Number one, I use it. Number two, it works. You want to get those lawn roots thick, baby, because when that happens, they resist weeds, disease, and insects, and they're using top-of-the-line stuff. We're talking golf course quality. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will take care of you. Proudly serving Central Ohio and our Dayton friends. Call your local office, 614-733-3747, weedman.com.
Pepsi Prebiotic Cola in original and cherry vanilla. That Pepsi taste you love with no artificial sweeteners, only 30 calories, just 5 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. That great Pepsi taste with even more to love. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola. Unbelievably Pepsi.
Forget the pot of gold. Save some green at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% plus no payments for 90 days on select new Kia Sorentos, Sportages, and Tellurides. Or buy a new 2026 Kia K4 for $279 a month. Visit CoglanKia.com.
0% APR available for 48 months on select in-stock units. 90-day deferred payment. Buy for $279 per month for 84 months at 5.99% APR with approved credit through Kia Finance. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/26.
Need a roof you can count on? Ramos Roofing has protected homes and businesses throughout Ohio for almost 20 years. Whether it's a leaky roof, storm damage, new siding, or new gutters to protect your foundation, Ramos Roofing delivers quality materials, professional installation, and honest service every time. Get your free roof or exterior assessment today and ask about Ramos Roofing's no-interest financing options. Call 614-761-7663 or visit online at ramosroofingohio.com.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants. The pervert and the skivvies. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
So earlier in the week, Joe Flacco returned to the Cincinnati Bengals on a one-year deal. It's like $4 million for the former Cleveland Brown, Baltimore Raven, New York Jet, Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
Do I have all of Flacco's spots?
Hell, I don't know.
ESPN says that the contract's for $6 million, but could be up to $9 million with incentives. So that's good, I think, for Cincinnati because he's a guy that if Joe Burrow gets injured, and the track record shows that Burrow can sometimes run himself into injury, you've got a competent backup. Flacco, who I loved with his time in Cleveland, I think is as suitable of a backup in this league, in the NFL, as there is than any other franchises.
Okay.
I don't know if he could be a starter for a team that's going to compete. Like the Cincinnati Bengals think, hey, if we just stay healthy, our guy can take us to the promised land.
Being a backup for the Bengals is probably one of the more desirable backup jobs.
Well, you're closer to playing than really 20 other teams.
And you're throwing to two great receivers with a competent running back.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the best chance to succeed is if you're a backup. If you're going to be a backup quarterback somewhere, I would think that would be the best spot to be right now.
I appreciate the 41-year-old Flacco thinking that he can 41-year-old Pro Bowl quarterback thinking that he can still throw with the best of them. The Bengals reintroduced him this week, and he had an axe to grind.
I feel like I have unfinished business. That's part of why I'm still here and playing and doing all those things, and not being one of those guys to go sign somewhere. Yeah, it pisses me off a little bit, but at the same time, like I'm very happy to be here, and that's also why I don't see this as the end. Like I that's just not how I'm viewing it in my mind. Like I feel like I can help a team win. And, yeah, it may be in a different role here, but I do still think I can help this team win in that role. I had a lot of fun with Joe, and Joe's the guy. And believe me, I wish I was a guy somewhere. And I think teams are dumb for not having me be that guy. But it is what it is, and I'm not going to let them or it get me down. I'm going to be the person I am and just approach football the way I always have.
That'd be a funny game they could play.
Right.
Joe, Burrow and Flacco. You'd say, Joe, which Joe are you talking about? Well, could be me, could be him.
Joe thinks he's a starting quarterback. Joe works hard with the receivers.
I remember a time where the starter and the backup had the same first name.
Oh, now you're going to make me do research.
Well, no, it's a fun thing to do. You used to do trivia over at the Damons. That'd be a fun sports trivia thing to do.
It has to be the primary backup. We can't go like 4 deep.
QB1, QB2. Yeah,
right.
no,
I don't want to go through and see like there's,
We're not going maybe a Patriots quarterback was named Tom in 2007.
Right.
Their practice squad guy.
How about Peter Tom Willis? Would that count as Tom?
Tom's in the name, no.
Okay.
Well, unless he goes by Tom.
Right.
But if he goes to something like Peter Tom.
Right. Or PT, yeah.
You can't.
Okay, so I think the answer is clearly no. But I'm curious.
What's the question?
I'm going to tell you. I'm building up to it. Is Joe Flacco in any way, shape, or form someone for consideration for the Hall of Fame?
I think so.
Do you?
Consideration, sure.
Okay. He's got the one Super Bowl win, and he was MVP in that game.
Yes.
Which is a big deal. Came into the league the same year as Matt Ryan. Ryan was the third pick. Flacco was 19. Ryan has thrown for 14,500 more yards than Flacco.
14,500 more?
Ryan's at 62,792. Flacco's at 48,176.
Goodness.
Okay.
I figured there would be a gap, but I didn't think that.
Ryan's got 109 more touchdown passes, 9 fewer interceptions.
Okay.
Ryan never won a Super Bowl. Came very close, obviously. The 28-3 game where they lose in overtime when the Patriots win the coin toss. They blew the lead and all of that. So, do you think Ryan's a Hall of Famer?
Yes. I think Matt Ryan's a Hall of Famer.
You do?
I think Joe Flacco is in the conversation.
Flacco or Eli more worthy?
I'm going to say Eli more worthy.
Because he's got 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs versus 1.
Yeah.
Even though...
How many? It was Eli, because Flacco was never an All-Pro. Was Eli ever an All-Pro?
I don't think he was.
Okay. Was Matt Ryan an All-Pro?
I bet Matt Ryan was. Probably the Super Bowl year he was, right? He had a great year that year.
Was Flacco's first Pro Bowl with the Bengals this past season?
Yeah, that's his first Pro Bowl. Yeah.
So even Eli was a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowl doesn't mean anything anymore.
I think that Matt Ryan, yes. Eli, Flacco have the conversation, but I would say no.
You would say both of them no?
No.
Okay.
I'd say, hey, you had a terrific career. You have the hardware to prove it.
Right.
The Hall of Fame is not a place you have earned. Because then you're going into Hall of really good career.
Rivers?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Rivers, Captain Meaningless Stats.
Eli Manning had a 500 record, right, as a starter. I believe it's what it was. I think he had a 500 record as a starter.
He was almost exactly 500.
Yeah, right. But he's also there's only two-time Super Bowl starting winning quarterbacks that are not in the Hall of Fame. It's Eli and Jim Plunkett. Those are only 2. Everyone else has won at least one Super Bowl, or won at least 2 Super Bowls as starting quarterback in the Hall of Fame. That's eligible.
Rivers will be a fun one because 8 times in the Pro Bowl.
And 11 kids.
So he's got weight.
He's scored a lot.
More kids
off the
than
field.
Pro Bowl appearances?
I think he does. I think he scored more off the field than on the field.
Phillip Rivers will be a fascinating conversation.
Does the fact Eli played in New York get him over the top?
I think so, and I think that the 2 over Brady in the Super Bowl puts him, in some people's eyes, over the top. What Rivers, I will say, is he played in the era where he was really good, but he was never the best quarterback in the league. Never the best quarterback in his conference, because that was when you had Brady, you had Manning, you had Roethlisberger.
Okay.
And Rivers was floating around there. So I'm going to go no on Rivers, too. But part of the conversation, because I do think he pushed his eligibility off.
He did.
By
5 years
playing
now,
for
right.
the Indianapolis
By
Colts for some reason.
He's now pushing up. But also, the better part of it, though, when you've got 11 kids, think about this, Reese.
You get more money. And so, yes, you get
insurance for the next 5. NFL insurance now kicks me.
It does?
Yeah, the NFL insurance now goes for the 5 years as well.
Okay.
So he extends that.
Good job, Dad.
That's smart by him, I think. Hall of Fame or braces?
Man.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, I'd rather the braces for my kid.
I think I would, too. Yeah.
Because the Hall of Fame, no, you can't buy anything with the Hall of Fame bust.
You can't. You may
get
have
a lot of free dinners.
Right.
You can't buy anything with the gold jacket. Again, a lot of free dinners.
Like Norm Macdonald said.
Braces are expensive, and I would hope maybe only like 6 or 7 of his kids had to get it. So maybe he got some reprieve in consecutive years. Because I know I didn't get braces. My brother did.
I got them on my legs.
I know that was,
just kidding.
Tyvis has always said that I should get my legs broken, and they do like the height surgery thing.
That thing right there?
Because I've always just wanted to be a tall person and reach the top shelf.
There was a disrespectful joke about you in the chat, by the way. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Oh, I saw it. That's what we'll get to it. Yeah. I'm okay with being height shamed. You know why? I've been height shamed for 35 years. No, it's not true. 30 years. I wasn't height shamed when I was a 5-year-old. I was regular height when I was a 5-year-old.
Regular height.
It only started in like first grade that I was then shorter than all of the other kids. They didn't like stretch me out and go, tall baby. I would not have been.
I'm trying to see how many kids he actually does have. 11 might be a stretch. It might be 11. I don't know.
It's
$7 and 3 sons. They have 10. He's also a grandfather.
Double digits. He's a grandfather.
Yes. His oldest son was a starting quarterback in 2023 for St. Michael Catholic High School. But yeah, he's a $7.
Was he coaching that? Was that what?
It might have been coaching that before. I
was trying to think of how he got connected to Frank Reich and the Indianapolis Colts organization. It was through something high school related, I want to say, but not having that in front of me. I did want to get real quick to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And how earlier this week he's like, I broached the idea of coming back to football, but the NFL didn't like that. It's like, well, no, dude, you're a part owner.
I don't think it was ever broached.
You're a broadcaster. I think he came off the Fanatics flag football field and said, I could do this.
Right, but I don't think he ever really said to the NFL, hey, I'd like to come back. I can't believe he would have.
I think he said to people that I could probably do this.
Yeah.
Look, you've seen the quarterback play in the NFL.
Right.
Generally bad. There are bright spots, but Brady wouldn't come in and be one of them.
No.
But it'll always be that kind of fun. It's like the Tiger question. Like, see him out there. Wow, he looks pretty good. He could do that.
The Tiger question about ability, not about off-the-field choices.
No, this is just about ability in his given sport.
Gotcha.
Because when you see Tiger at the TGL, I was like, well, he's walking pretty good. Oh, back looks okay. Might be able to make a round at Augusta. And then the unfortunate news from yesterday, where fortunately nobody was hurt.
Right.
A truck got damaged. His Land Rover's totaled.
Right.
He was able to walk away unscathed. He was in jail for 8 hours. They released him on bail.
Right.
We'll see how the legal process works. The Masters is in 12 days. I would just hope cooler heads would prevail there and be like, no, do not do that.
Did he clip the bumper of a truck?
He clipped the trailer of the truck. So the truck was pulling a trailer. He tried to pass it, was driving way too fast, clipped the trailer, slid on the truck.
Scotty Vegas has a chair, folding chair, autographed by Bob Knight. He got Bobby Knight autographed a folding chair.
Did he throw it at him?
No, he didn't throw it at him.
That's the only way I would accept the folding chair from Bobby Knight. I'd be like,
okay,
here, coach, can you, when he would still be alive, here, coach, can you sign this? But you got to throw it at me. Just for the story.
Right. Okay. If you're the trailer owner, do you ask Tiger to autograph the trailer? Think of what that would go for. Or at least part of the trailer.
If I need the trailer for my business, though, no, I'm asking him for a new trailer. I mean, your insurance might give you a new trailer. So if I get a new trailer, because, again, you need it for your business, then yes, he can autograph that trailer, and I'm selling it on eBay.
Yeah, take the part off that he damaged.
No, trailer. You got to buy the whole trailer.
That'd be kind of tough.
Got to buy the trailer.
I can't believe the shipping on that. They're already jacking up on eBay anyway. Think of what that would be.
Well, think about you needing a golf cart.
That's true.
You got to go pick it up from somewhere. They don't, or would they just drop it off to you?
They better drop it. I'm not driving it. Like if someone says, "Hey, I got a golf cart for you. It's 30 miles away." There's no way I could drive that home. Can you imagine me on the freeway with that thing?
Blue Jackets in the home stretch of the regular season. 10 left to play. You got 2 big ones tonight and tomorrow. We'll discuss the Blue Jackets and their chances for a playoff position. That's next. Sports Saturday on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You've heard me talk about High Bank's award-winning spirits, but let's talk about the food. High Bank delivers incredible meals and handcrafted cocktails in a space that works for every part of your week. Start with happy hour, drinks with friends, come back for brunch worth planning your weekend around, then stay for dinner. And get this, kids eat half off every Monday. Great food, award-winning drinks, a reason to come back time and time again. Make a reservation today at a location near you at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
When I started in the window business probably 40 years ago, as the industry grew, I started to realize that everything was wrong. So when I finally decided to start my own company, there were a number of reasons. One of those was I knew I could build a better window. I could take care of my customers. I could service them better. I could make sure that they got what they paid for.
Visit Rosati Windows and get 35% off all windows and doors by March 31st.
It's never a bad time to fire up the grill. At Billiards Plus, the grilling season never ends. While you're grill shopping, you'll love browsing Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
At Germain Honda of Dublin, they get it. Nobody grows up dreaming of driving a minivan, but it's hard to argue with unbeatable versatility. Enter the Honda Odyssey, packed with space, comfort, and family-friendly features that make life easier. And if you want efficiency, Germain Honda has you covered with great incentives on hybrid favorites like the CR-V, the Civic, and the Accord. Shop Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270 and at germainhondaofdublin.com.
Bacon, sausage, egg, cheese, made from scratch biscuits, fresh baked croissants, cinnamon swirl French toast. Hungry? Grab a hot UDF breakfast sandwich made in store for your morning. UDF, mornings made for you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SPEED to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SPEED for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Coffee, iced cap, refreshers. Tim Hortons has all your favorite beverages. And now you can get your favorite bite for less. When you buy any size beverage, add a baked daily donut for $1, a tasty bagel for $2, or a freshly cracked hot breakfast sandwich for just $3. So next time you order your favorite Tim's beverage, add something that satisfies your cravings and your wallet. The $1, $2, $3 menu. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants, must ask for offer in restaurant. Tax extra exclusions and terms apply.
One more play-by-play. It's on the Fan 2. March Madness, Reds baseball, Ohio State athletics, and much more. Find the Fan 2 on the Fan's HD2 channel and 1460 on the AM dial.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Columbus, you hungry? Good thing Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers. From now to 3/31, get a buy one, get one free deal on Manhandler Skillet on the app. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Terms apply. See app for details.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
I don't know if this is going to be promotion or turn people away, but on YouTube, you can't see our butts, but you can watch us make asses of ourselves.
Oh, look at that.
Eric Rieser, Jeff Thidoff. Nate's here too. We've had a wonderful Saturday with you. Thank you so much for making us just a little bit of your weekend. I know there's a lot to do today and tomorrow. Sports this week has been drinking from a fire hose. You have the Blue Jackets with a tremendous opportunity with 10 games left. Head coach Rick Bowness says we're making the playoff. We're going to make the postseason. We're getting into the playoffs, and then we're going to win more games from there. And I love that. I love the confidence that he has in his group, the confidence that he has in himself. The results have been there. So let's bring on the Penguins in the postseason. I'd love to see the Jackets get the 2 spots so you get kind of the pre-series home ice advantage. Let's slay the dragon that is Sidney Crosby, and let's make a second-round appearance that this city can be proud of. And this city's already proud of what this organization has done in such short order. I didn't think the Blue Jackets had it in them. In January, when you're at the bottom of the Metropolitan, you're at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and then they made the change that they did.
I suppose I could look this up, but I don't know the rules on this. If they take second in the Metro, does Bowness deserve Coach of the Year?
I think he does anyway.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely in conversation, and more than conversation, legitimate contention.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't. What are you able to do if you, like you just said, January 12th? Look at where the Jackets were, and look where they're at now. And by the way, just getting Elvis Merzlikins to be a good goalie again, that right there is Coach of the Year worthy on its own.
Yeah, there might be some like games coached stipulation.
Yeah, I don't know
how long. I think he's eligible. He's eligible for it.
He should be.
Yes, he is.
Don Waddell, Executive of the Year.
Yeah,
because that took stones. Certainly, best defenseman in the league, Zach Werenski.
Yeah.
So, some deserved hardware for the Blue Jackets off the ice for what they've been able to do on the ice. And let's see if we can capitalize on this with 10 games remaining. You got San Jose tonight, Boston tomorrow. Dylan Tyrer is going to have your pregame coverage at 4 o'clock tonight and tomorrow for that. We thank Dylan for giving us some time this morning. And I would encourage Dylan, look, you're working an extra half hour. Maybe you want to bump up your time card by 30 more minutes on each, because I think the time cards are due. So if you haven't done yours, Tito, make sure you do it. I'm really bad at my time card.
I don't do time cards.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm
good.
I'm an IC. I got to send an invoice every on the 15th.
Well,
and 31st.
if you're the invoice, then bump it up a little bit, Dylan.
But you're not going to bump it up for us. You're not
I bump it up for me.
You bump it up today for you?
Yeah.
By the
I'm working.
No, I mean you bumped it up for the time you came in early today.
Oh, I didn't bump up the 15 minutes. No.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you.
I shouldn't I?
Well, I'm not gonna look. If I do it and you don't, I look like a jerk.
Okay, so we'll do it. Now you got to do it too.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
I'm not doing it. There's no way I'm doing it. But you guys let me know how it goes for next time.
I would just say this: the extra time worked, the extra income generated, could go into that golf cart fund.
Well, I'll tell you what I do instead. You guys, I don't want to say this publicly, but I usually steal office supplies. Like I'll take an extra, whatever it was I should be paid today, I'll just steal it in office supplies on the way out.
When I take office supplies, I, in my head, give a reason as to why.
Sure.
Like I'm using office supplies to, I think the last time I did it was I'm using office supplies to be better organized at home, which would reflect better on me at the workplace.
Does explain why I stole Tim Hall's stapler off his desk, but because I already had one. It's more just a statement I wanted to make.
No, I think Tim Hall's desk is fair game.
Okay, I got 2 staplers at home
for
now.
plundering.
Yeah.
Well, if you lose one, you got a backup stapler.
One. That's good.
It's why the NFL has backup quarterbacks.
That's what I'm talking about. Reese, that's the kind of leadership we need around here.
We had alluded to a comment made about my height. I was height shamed earlier in the program.
I'm not in favor of this.
Because we want to get you a golf cart. So we got to go to our sales team and see if they can get you a golf cart sponsorship.
Yes.
Several great companies in the area, I'm sure, have golf carts and would love to have Jeff Thidoff representing them. But it was Rusty who asked, are you going to get a booster seat for Eric?
Rusty, I love you, but that was over the line.
Answer the question. You're going to get me a booster seat.
You know about, by the way, the booster seat joke.
Because what's fun about golf carts is you can kind of like dangle your feetsies.
Yeah.
So if my feetsies are touching the ground, I can't dangle them when you're driving me around Northwest Boulevard.
This is lame, Rusty. I'm going to tell you now, the first time when Eric first read that joke, it went over his head.
That's good. That's a good job. See, it's times like that I kind of wish we could up our out time, because that's what you end off of.
Right,
this show can get no better than that zinger right there.
Yeah.
We're going to try to, though. I was seeing from television superstar Jacob Reimer about tonight's matchups, regional finals in the South and in the West. 2 tickets to be punched to the Final Four. You got Iowa and Illinois, the first game at 6 o'clock on TBS. And at 8:49, Purdue and Arizona. That'll be also on TBS. I don't know why CBS isn't doing any of these. However, the point spread is the same, 6.5. Illinois is the favorite in the first game, Arizona the favorite in the West Regional Final. But the over-under on points, 153 for Purdue, Arizona, 137.5 for Illinois and Iowa, which even for a dumb person like me, that makes sense. They're going to score. Arizona's going to score a ton of points. Iowa and Illinois might not score many.
I really need Purdue to win this game.
Arizona might score more total than the total of Iowa, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
They were on pace for that the other night.
I know they were. I know.
You know, because Houston tried to rock fight Illinois, and Illinois said, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to try to do that to us, and we're going to do it to you. It was like 65-55?
65-55.
If Iowa and Illinois don't hit triple digits, will anyone be shocked?
No.
No, I guess not, yeah.
But it's still, I think this has been a great tournament, despite the lack of Cinderella, despite Ohio State bowing out to TCU in the first round.
Yeah.
Or the round of 64, I guess I should say. This has been awesome. Like that, I do think the NIL and the portal they haven't hurt college basketball. The quality is still there in the postseason when it matters.
Yes, you're right. The lack of Cinderellas, whatever. I don't care about that.
Yeah, because at this point, you don't think about Cinderella. And
I don't want them in there.
To. Like,
No.
if High Point's playing this weekend, you're like, I don't need to see that because their legs start to run out of gas.
Yes. Yeah. But all in all, okay, yes, Ohio State lost the first round. Yes, the Ohio State women lost in the second round. But by and large, for the month of March, it's been a damn good sports month for people in Central Ohio, I think.
Yeah, and it's setting up to be a great April.
Yeah.
Because, yes, the basketball will go away. And then you're actually, now that we have 2 minutes, you've got something to promote for April 6th, the national championship game.
Yes. Your Highness and I are going to be out at, it's called Parlay Sports Kitchen and Bar. It's downtown Columbus. We're going to get out there around 7 o'clock. This is not fan promoted. I'm just telling you. It's just Your Highness is going to be in town.
This is a fan promo. You're on the fan and you're promoting what you're doing.
I guess so. I just want to get in trouble for it. But anyway.
No one's listening.
That's fair. There were many people listening before the show.
Except everybody on YouTube, which we thank, and everybody listening in their cars.
Yes, we do thank that.
But management is not.
Your Highness will be in town. We're going to go out there around 7 o'clock on that night, and we're going to watch. He's going to stay for the whole national championship game. I won't. I've got to work the next morning. Of course, he does too. He's going to be in studio Tuesday live with Bobby and Brody and I.
Brody.
Whenever we talk about Your Highness.
We doing new nicknames?
Your Highness, the first few times he was on the air, called him Brody.
Oh.
And so now we call it, when he's on with us, it's Brody Thursday. Anything to Your Highness associated, we have Brody involved in it, we say Brody. So he'll be on with us on that Tuesday, the day after. But we're going to be out there on Monday night. And through the chat now, I may even bring the lovely Heather.
Okay.
The wife out there. So
there
people can either tell her how sorry they are or tell her how lucky she is. One of the chatters said they're going to pray for her.
Her presence is the present.
Yes, exactly.
So Parlay Sports Club, Parlay Social Club and Sports Kitchen.
It's called Sports Kitchen and Bar.
Okay.
Sports Kitchen and Bar.
They do a lot of the good gambling stuff. So you and Your Highness will be out there for the national championship.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like an 8:45 tip.
Well, no, 9:05 in all likelihood. Right, it's 8:45 they'll advertise. There's
sleepy time for Eric.
I might be gone as soon as they tip off. But Your Highness gets up at 4:30 in the morning to do hits with us when he's out in Arizona. So
you'll have 2 tickets to be punched to Indianapolis for that Final Four coming up tonight. And you've got Duke, UConn tomorrow. You also got Michigan and Tennessee. It's always good for me.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was good for you, everybody.
Yes,
thanks for listening. Thanks for giving us a little bit extra of your time in the 8 o'clock hour. Nate, thank you so much for everything, guys. We will be back in April because March is going the way of the dodo. Been a wacky weather year so far on the Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.